Good evening, gamers, and welcome to Titan Esports Eternal. We are going for our grand finals tonight between MGC and OGF. I am joined here by Cherry J. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing, I gotta say, I'm doing pretty sick, but in the way that is good. We're feeling a little bit rough tonight, but we got a best of 5 ahead of us. Both these teams, they've trained, they're looking to make their way through. Both of these are going to be that 4 seed, so we're looking to figure out where they will come into the mix and who will be the 4 seed to come out on top. Now, Leslie, both these teams, certainly they've gotten the upset. The question now becomes, will they be able to carry it forward?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, we appreciate you sticking it out. And yeah, as we talk about these teams, I do want to get into the Eternal League 2025 Split Player Awards. Of course, most valuable player of the league, send Uaside Hotline. MVP runner-up going to be MKB. man, it's just a lot of great players in this league here. And then looking, of course, we do have our first All-Pro team, Gargoomba, Packapal, Uaside Hotline, Egg Whites 101, and Frozen Spuds. Of course, outlined there with some of their favorite champions. Just a lot of great players kind of going around through this league. We definitely have some players, from Mint Gaming. As you see, Frozen Spuds, we get to see him in some action tonight, making that first pro all team. I'm very excited. Like you said, both of these teams are the 4 seed. You've got some teams that have won some awards, of course, throughout this season. Unfortunately, we won't get to see the MVP, Summit Esports being taken down earlier in the split. But otherwise, I'm still very excited to see, we'll see if Frozen Spuds can kind of live up to that and maybe lead his team to a victory here in this grand finals.
Yeah, both these teams certainly going to want to get straight on into the action. And speaking of that Aatrox, we might be seeing that Aatrox in store. We saw that this side of the top lanes get a little bit of a boost recently in meta. There was the buff to the Dr. Mundo, which certainly is helpful. We've seen a couple other characters get brought back into the meta, so I'm looking to see what that's going to leave us with. Obviously, Aatrox still very strong right now, but the question now becomes, what will we see when it does come down to the draft?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, the meta has definitely developed a lot more as the, split has gone on. Of course, getting into the grand finals, Lilia being, a big ban. Lilia seeing a lot of play coming out as Darius kind of took over the meta, Neferi taking over the jungle meta as well. Would have been one of the key answers, of course. Omega Gaming Fever could be looking towards one of those primary jungle picks on B1. Wouldn't be too surprised. We'll have to see what Mint Gaming decides they want to take out ban. For you, outside of the jungle role, what's your prio pick here? What do you like to see on B1?
I mean, I gotta say that, if you can lock in that Ahri, it would be strong, but that's gonna be banned out, so there's a lot of strong picks getting taken off the board right now. I think that, honestly, that Darius jungle, I know you didn't want to hear the jungle, but it's just so strong, and I really want to see that get picked out tonight. I'm not sure what else, because obviously any character can get played and look good on, but we're gonna be seeing a lot of jungler bans, whether or not it's the Volley Bear or the Lilia, maybe even that Gwen jungle. I mean, I've seen it quite a few times myself, but the first pick will be in the jungler category, and it will be that Jin Zhao. So, strong pick to start us off. I'm not going to say it's the strongest jungler, but if you have confidence on the pick, it certainly can be.
Yeah, agreed. Varus going to be locked in for the side of MGC. Of course, Varus being one of those neutral AD carries can be paired with a lot of different things. It's a great early pick on in the draft. Pretty standard. I am surprised we didn't see the Darius here. Of course, Neferi going to be banned from the league with that mid-scope rework, but Darius still a huge power pick. The Wukong going to be the answer to Xin Zhao for the side of MGC. And, as we get into it here, Tristana the lock-in. Of course, this could be a flex. We have seen it go mid quite a few times in this league, but, I don't know. How do you like the Tristana-Varus matchup?
Honestly, I think that's one of the best picks you could get into the Varus, just because it's Tristana. Tristana is one of, if not the best AD carries in the current meta, just because of the fact that so many AD carries were nerfed. Crowned, it leaves Tristana with an open spot to pick up the meta. Now, he's going to be locked in. That's likely to be in the mid lane, since unless you're looking at top side, it won't find a whole ton of value anywhere else. Whether or not that jungle could be the Tulia or the Wukong, however, that's a different story, because I think either one could be flexed either top or mid, so I'm liking that pick just to throw the side of OGF off their balance, but let's see what they do decide to go in.
Yeah, Braum going to be a really great ban, of course, Wukong, things like that, wanting to engage. Obviously looking for some other engage options. You want to take away some of that. Some huge disengage options taken away, the Braum and the Renata. You got to imagine that MGC is going to be looking for more engage tools, more go buttons as they round out their draft. And of course, OGF, some protection bans for their top laner, understanding they are on the blue side. They are going to have to give counter pick over. So very excited to see kind of what they come up with. Of course, this Talia is a great pick. Giving yourself some protection from the Xin Zhao diving in, the Tristana diving in. The Nautilus going to be the lock-in here for MGC as they do save counter pick for what will likely be their top laner.
Just throwing off their opponents a little bit. Obviously, there's something you can lock in for any lane. Ornn pick, very standard, very safe, so I like that a lot. Obviously, Ornn, definitely one of those characters that can really pair well when it comes to those combos on the ultimate. It really does work its magic, and there's the Taric getting picked out. certainly an interesting pick to pair with the Tristana, but I'd love to get your thoughts on it. It seems very unconventional to me.
Yeah, but I think it goes great when matched into the Nautilus, right? So, I mean, every time that Nautilus is going to be coming in, Tarek's just staring there right at him, ready with the stun. The Aatrox going to be the final lock-in here for MGC, being paired into the Ornn. Of course, OGF, you've got Hui, Ornn, even Tristana that does like to fight early. However, Tristana scales fairly well as the game goes on. Huge scaling from Ornn, huge scaling from the side of the Hui and the mid lane. Versus MGC, they definitely want to skirmish early, get those things headed. Of course, with the Aatrox on the top side, the Taliyah, and the Wukong, you got to imagine they'll be fighting over grubs on a regular basis. Who do you think? Obviously, I like to do this before every draft. We get to see both sides. Who do you give the edge to before the game starts?
I think solely based off of draft, I'd have to give it to Mint Gaming Crashouts because there's a lot of countering to what has been added to them. I think that the Nautilus and Tristana could cause a little bit of detriment. I think that the whole idea of the Taliyah in mid, it's good, but I like the way a little bit more in the current ideas of the game. But I'm not sure how I feel about this Jin Zhao into a Wukong. I think either team could win that in that jungling setup, but Wukong is more of a team play jungler. So you get that a little bit of a tankiness to you, and you also get a good amount of CC damage. So I'd love to see how that does work out, but we're going to go straight on into the draft, and moving from the draft, we will get to see the game commence immediately. So let's just get right onto it.
Yeah, of course. Looks like MGC just hopping around, seeing if they can get anything done with this Nautilus. But of course, OGF gonna walk out safely and save something here. A little bit of damage going on to the mid, but nothing too crazy. It's interesting to see kind of how teams take that initial level one, whether they 5-point and try to quick out vision, or of course, as most of us know, Nautilus, a great opportunity to fish for a hook and see if you can catch something.
Immediately, though, no invades to come out, which, I mean, I like. I think both these teams, they want to play for a little bit of scaling. I think that Tristana can win early if they are set up correctly, so I'd love to see that potentially be a countermeasure. I'm not loving how this is being approached, just because, like, I think this Ornn, I mean, you should be watching that jungle just in case the Wukong does try and steal something, but they will just be on tower and they will just be waiting for that Aatrox to come on down.
Yeah, I think the vision there gives them a little bit of maybe security and thinking that, of course, we'll show them all a great name. Getting out a little poke here, really trying to fight for the push, as it does look like the side of MGC getting the push here early on. And you got to imagine Frozen Spuds, he's fishing. He's looking for something right now. Looks like they're going to maintain that priority. The level 2 definitely going to come out for them. Top lane. I don't know what's your opinion on this top lane matchup too. You know, the Ornn and the
Honestly,
Aatrox.
I think they're just gonna hit each other for 20 minutes and then team fight. I mean, maybe the Aatrox can find a solo kill if you can really wrap around those infernal chains, connect the World Ender to that passive healing. Maybe there's some damage you could output, but as of now, I mean, neither one
Ooh.
really has a kill potential.
Yeah, definitely some early trading going on, coming out in the favor of P-Dog, getting an extra Darkened Blade sweet spot knocked on there. Definitely a favorable trade in his favor. That passive, wow, the Deathbringer stance giving a lot of HP regen. As this bot lane, we're gonna get that wave to crash back out. You gotta imagine MGC, maybe not 100% sure. Ooh, Stubby in a little bit of trouble here as he takes another unfavorable trade. You said they were going to beat up in each other, but P-Dog is not going to let him go easy, as he is going to go ahead and get knocked up by the searing charge, but nothing else going to follow.
I mean, I do think the Aatrox should be able to win in lane. The
Ooh.
problem does come with the fact that you're playing against an Ornn as an AD top lane, and Ornn is just like that armor building champion that you can't really do a ton
Ooh.
against. However, we might see a kill in
Yeah.
the opposite direction with the
Oh, searing charge going to connect. He's going to dash forward. P-Dog in a little bit of trouble. The chain's not going to do anything, and first blood is going to go down onto Sailor. And, we're going to be spotted out by this ward. Of course, he is down one camp currently, but should be able to pick that up with the scuttle grab. And that's a big help for the Ornn. You know, he's gives him a great opportunity to reset. And like you said, he may be beaten in lane, but with some help like that, he should be very easy to recover.
See, that's exactly why I think that Jin Zhao is going to be that game changer in this match. Because if you're a good Jin Zhao, you can find a ton of value, and especially on these early ganks. However, if they don't keep this up, they could start getting
Ooh, a little bit
stale.
going in. The hook's going to connect here as Tristana is going to go ahead and rocket jump. However, the Tark's going to be in a little bit of trouble. The seismic shove is going to get flashed, and he is going to take that piercing arrow, but nothing but the flash for the side of MGC. But you got to imagine, when you have a Nautilus in lane, that flash being away is a huge pickup.
Well, honestly, it wasn't even the end of the world. As the Flash exchanged for a Flash with Show also taking that and exhausting their Flash as well. So they tried to go for an aggressive play. They will be able to keep this lane in their favor for a while, but we do get to see the Jin Zhao moving down. So being able to pilot a champion like that and already having a 100 gold lead, Warhammer Online, it does leave you to believe that they should be able to find a kill if there is an overextension, but we'll just have to wait and see if Sailor can make any magic happen.
Yeah, like you said, big thing to point out. Ooh, is P-Dog still getting some favorable trades off here as he kind of crashes this wave. Ooh, Sailor's going to do a rocket jump forward. So we will show them all. Going to be stunned up. Wind becomes lightning connects. And it looks like we will show them all is going to be taken out as Frozen Spud tries to get it. Ooh, the barrier. He's going to get one back. And Maddie's still going to be able to take him out. But we will show them all outplaying in the 2v1 as Sailor dives forward and still able to take out Frozen Spuds, flashing away from turret aggro. Absolutely amazing play from We Will Show Them All. Ooh, as we do get a gank here by Poom in the mid lane, but he is just going to be taken away. That was an absolutely wonderful play. We Will Show Them All absolutely saving that play from complete disaster.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good kill. You got to admit, a little bit of a misplay from Maddie there not to secure the kill, and they let him get that barrier off, and that barrier just allowed them to secure all the damage they could possibly ask for. But at the same time, it is just that extra bit of damage you need, and I think you got to give praise where it is due. We Will Show Them All certainly putting up a masterclass performance in this game, looking to continue it, and this point, it really is just either team to win. Obviously, gold lead slightly in favor of the Omega Gaming Fever, but it's not that big. However, as of now, it is going to be Mint Gaming Crashouts to be able to take this dragon, exchanging it for the grubs. I think the dragon in this game is going to be a little bit more valuable because it gives you that scaling opportunity, unlike the Void Grubs, where it's really only good against the turrets. So I'd love to get your thoughts. Maybe it's going to be better to go for grubs, but what do you think?
No, I would have to say, I mean, OGF having a slight lead, I mean, there's definitely some potential there. If you can get a kill and get some extra pressure on getting those plates, I think there's a lot of value in it, as we may have Frozen Spuds kind of peaking here. He's just going to walk away. Of course, the trade of neutral objective is pretty common. I would tend to stay with you, though, as I think even for a majority of the meta. Ooh, we do have the Ornn ultimate. We are going to get a miss of some action here in the mid lane, as it does look like Zed, the Spiraling Despair, going to connect, and Sailor going to take that down. Poom yet to be level 6. Wind becomes lightning connects, and he is not going to be able to get one back. OGF take another one in the mid lane.
I mean, that's a big kill right there, and it gives them that extra bit of a lead, which, I mean, I'm not saying you need early on, but it is definitely helpful. And this was kind of what I was talking about. When a Jin Zhao gets ahead early, they certainly can get ahead late. 3 kills already being found out. They're looking to secure maybe the Eclipse as their first item. I'm not sure exactly what that would build into. It's a pretty standard build, but right now it's just going to be a pretty equalized game. Nobody taking too much aggression. However, the way in the mid lane, we might see them take a little bit of damage to that Nautilus who is coming up. They might have to force out a flash, but we do see Sailor very nearby. However, they're going to be moving away from it, so who knows? The Nautilus not going to engage in mid, though, so it does kind of leave both teams in a bit of a standstill.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the one side here is this Hui, of course, up a little over a wave now, being able to push on those. The upside for Zed is you only lost one wave. I mean, you're in a position where, oh, excuse me, Stubby gonna cancel that with the Unstoppable, but still a very unfortunate trade here. As we're saying, the big value from Zed is, of course, going to be that Unraveled Earth, the ability to kind of stop the aggression from Sailor or Maddie, and even the Searing Charge from the side of Stubby is just those things that are going to be, oh, the Seismic Shove is going to land, the Volley Thread moving forward, going to get a pretty favorable trade, although the shield going to back it up here for Hui in the mid lane.
Exhausting the shield, which it's not the end of the world, but we will see what more they can get off of it. As we know, we will be seeing a little bit of a CS lead and gold lead for this mid laner. However, they might be a little bit in
Frozen Spuds knocking him up. They are going to commit the Cyclone from Poom, but Poom is going to add one back for MGC. And this is another opportunity for Zed basically kind of, he's still going to be down, but if he can collect this wave, with Sayuki not having their TP, he should be able to get caught up. Well, it does look like he's just going to take this tempo and an opportunity to recall here.
So now both teams gold about equalized, only a 500 gold lead for the OGF squad. However, the majority of that being piled on to the side of Sailor is going to make it a little bit difficult to get the rest of the team ahead. But you have to get that jungle to be as proactive as possible. Make sure they can gank lanes at all times, because if you're not ganking lanes, you're kind of just hitting your own jungle. And when you're the one with the gold lead, you got to be the one to make that change.
Yeah, absolutely. P Dog maybe getting a sense that something may be up there and not going to put himself in that position. Of course, mid laners here, both level 8. Yuki still has a very big CS lead, about 18 CS. Ooh, as we do see Sailor getting into a little bit of fight with Poom here. 3 talent strike knocking him up. Does look deterred as P Dog comes to reinforce. Just a little bit of a skirmish. Although Yuki getting some damage here. That passive, the signature of the Visionary Sway, just so much inadvertent damage you're just not quite ready for.
Right now, both teams looking to take it the whole way, looking to bring it farther. The question does become, will they be able to? Because as of now, really, I mean, I gotta give the lead here over towards Omega Gaming Fever, because let's be real, they definitely look like the team to beat.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
never mind.
jungle lead. Oh, the chains. No, they are going to connect as we are going to get the ultimate here out of the side. Stubby going to call the Forge God, going to see if he can get something out. P-Dog is going to get knocked. We do see the Brittle doing so much damage. The Flash Forge, Deathbringer stance, giving him the heal up. Stubby here looking for it as he is going to go ahead. The wind become lightning, going to help out, but Stubby is going to take it down. And in the bot side, it does look like We Will Show Them All has also taken down our Taric support.
I mean, you gotta give credit where credit is due, though. If B-Dog didn't have the Sailor on his tail, it certainly would have gone a different direction, one would have to imagine. Only one more Q needed to commit. Unfortunately, they did not find it, and now Void Grubs will be taken. That's going to equalize our Void Grubs out 3-3 on each side. However, MGC does have that lead when it comes down to the Drake, so you gotta give them an advantage, even though they are still down. Well, I guess they're not technically down. They are both at 1750, so we'll see whether or not anybody's going to really be able to find a big lead here. Obviously, OGF looking to equalize the Drakes as well. We're going to be seeing a Mountain Drake come online, so that's going to give him a little bit of defense, but it's nothing in comparison to getting that soul.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the Searing Charge knocking out P-Dog, taking a turret. That Brittle dealing extra damage. Of course, Chains of Corruption going to lock him in place. He is just going to be able to catch this wave as OGF does confirm that dragon and leaves them 1-1. Of course, both teams, 2 neutral objectives, battling towards this feats of warfare. How have you liked the boots this season? I mean, this is definitely one of the newer additions to League. It's been kind of a point of controversy, but what's your opinion on it?
I mean, if I'm being totally honest, I don't think it's as big of a deal as people are saying. I think that feats of warfare doesn't really mean as much as most people would presume it does. But, you know, it is always good, especially when you want that extra lead. But, I mean, I don't think it's really that much of a game-changing feature that Riot has added. So let's see what can happen next. Obviously, there's a small gold lead coming out from OGF once more, but let's be honest, unless that Xin Zhao gets taken down, I don't think that that's going to be traded anytime soon.
No, of course. We do see Poom sneaking into this alcove here. Maybe looking to see if they can bait OGF's bot lane into something, but nothing quite happening. We are going to see him sneak into this bottom brush as MGC just goes ahead and takes another plate.
Lots of people hiding in this bush. The question now becomes, does the side of Omega Gaming Fever, do they really...
Call the Forge God going to go wide here as Sailor still looking. He's going to get slowed. P-Dog, can he make the outplay? He's trying to go it off. He's getting the passive. He's getting his healing off. Wind becomes lightning connects, but it's just too much. The chains are going to land, but Sailor's going to take him down once more. And this is that moment where those grubs just show their value, right? When you get to start banging on this turret, taking away those turret plates, and they've really used the CC and that 2v2 and 2v1 in the top side to get a lead for OGF.
Honestly, I kind of expected P-Dog to get at least one kill there, just because they do have their first item online, and as we know, getting rid of the armor for an Ornn, it's certainly impactful, but
the Cyclone's gonna come out here, but he sees Sailor coming in, and he's just gonna immediately backtracking. Of course, Sailor does have the fully built Eclipse. as we still see Wukong building towards that Trinity Force, definitely behind in items. And I mean, I hate to say it at this moment, but Frozen Spuds looking here in the middle. The seismic shove not going to connect as Tarek also here to support. Looks like we're just a little bit of support staring at each other, making sure vision gets completed. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. I think there's an opportunity there for P-Dog to make something happen, but at the same time, this Orin has so much armor right now. And of course, the Grievous Wounds really digging into that Deathbringer stance passive. Great plays so far from the jungle top duo here on OGF.
I gotta say, I'm a little bit surprised by the build that we do see uh Sailor going for. I'm not sure if they're just gonna try and get boots with that or what the plan. Okay, that was the plan. I was a little bit confused because it's like, why would you build magic resist? Your opponents barely have any, and that one magic resist user, no fault to them, but they have not been in the best situation, tied up in assist and death to their opponent mid laner. But the CS is not there.
Yeah, absolutely, and of course the Talia taking the option towards the Seraph's Embrace, which is still going to be a little bit before that gets online. We do have a dragon up in 1 minute and 36 seconds, meaning that item is not going to be fully stacked. We are not going to have the full value of that. So of course, Yuki going to be slightly more powerful coming into this objective. And you got to imagine this might be where we see our first real team fight. Ooh, the Searing Charge going to connect. Brittle doing some devastating damage here. However, P-Dog not going to be able to get that healing back off the passive. Those Grievous Wounds just doing too much work. And Stubby's still going to maintain the push here in the top side.
Yeah, it really is just that armor breaking ability versus the Grievous Wounds that have been taken down. And I mean, either side can win this, but as of now, you gotta favor that Ornn. They've been looking good in the top side. They've been looking like a player who can be able to carry team fights just with their presence alone. Especially when you're going up against a team like this that really doesn't have a whole lot of armor breaking potential. Obviously, the Wukong might start buying it, maybe the Varus as well, but as of now, they really only have that Varus with the Bork to kind of lay into you. So I'm liking this a lot from the side of OGF.
Yeah, it does look like they really want to commit to this Rift Herald, getting that taken down. They are trading first tower for it. I'm not sure that I like that. I mean, we'll show them all already in a good position. Bork already online, full boots. Of course, going for this DPS on hit build that we do tend to see. Some extra damage coming down here from Yuki. It's okay. I mean, that Rift Herald, it looks like they're going to make a play topside, so I think this play is going to hinge on it. Call of the Forge God coming down already on P-Dog. Maddie getting some damage down. Wind becomes lightning, connects, looking for that 3 Talon strike as it is going to do it. And the Tristana, Maddie taking down that kill. Now with this Rift Herald, they may be looking to push for the second tower, and this is just going to be blown wide open by OGF.
I'd say that's a good commitment just because they are secure taking this tower. There is. They can try and go for more. Will they decide to? No, they won't. They're going to be taking that Herald, bringing it as an Uber. Let's see how much they will tip because that next tower could be destroyed anytime soon, but they won't even try to navigate around. Instead, crashing it into the Raptors, trying to break those up.
Yeah, Rift Herald getting in a fight with some chickens. That's a new one for me. But no, great cross-map play. Of course, they did sacrifice that tower, but in the process, Weaver's Wall coming in. Maddie able to get over the side, so Yuki flashing forward. Chains of Corruption going wide. The Nautilus Hook gonna land. Seismic Shove pushing him back, but not gonna matter as we will show them all does take him down. Sailor moving forward, though. Stubby getting onto Zed. Frozen Sud's gonna be taken down by the 3 Talon strike. Flashing forward, knocking him up. Zed on the side getting taken down. We will show them all. Winds become lightning. He's gonna knock him back. Absolutely beautiful play, but boom is gonna come in and still get taken down in a trade with Maddie. Wow, a lot of blood going here as we are going to get a 3-for-3 on the side of MGC as they are able to get some push in this tower, although I don't imagine we're able to get pushed through Stubby on this side.
I just want it to be known that even though he didn't use it at the end, we did in fact see Mary drop that, or Maddie, sorry, we did see them drop that rocket trump 3 times, and they had it refreshed for a 4th. So that certainly was a great play from them. They're now equalized in kills, deaths, and assists as the Varus, but that gold lead could potentially make something that you want to work around, because 2 items on this Tristana is certainly going to be a pain for the side of Mint Gaming Crashouts to handle, and I'd love to see how they do get around it, but we will just wait and see.
Yeah, absolutely. Something to point out, of course, that shutdown on the Xin Zhao going over to Poom on the Wukong, helping him get caught up a little bit. Of course, does have the CS lead, still down 2 kills, 2 assists, but helping to equalize that gold a little bit as he is on 2 full items. That shutdown gold being absolutely dominating, as we will show them all might be in a little bit of trouble, or Cielo looks, but Frozen Spuds and Poom here to reinforce. I mean, I think these fights are really going to come down to, how do we control these? This happens a lot, of course, but how do we control these 80 carries, right? The big thing about MGC is they have all these buttons to go forward, but when they do that, can OGF find that angle, get onto the back line, get onto We Will Show Them All, take out the Sparrows?
Maddie's been a player especially who's been able to do that despite Frozen Spuds having a lot of utility to break them out. It just hasn't been enough to really secure much. So we're going to be seeing a decent amount of damage come through, potentially with, missing out on the hook. But that might have been a problem if they did connect it, not going to lie, because, Maddie's right there to just hit you as hard as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see how we play those out. Of course, Sailor kind of putting on a clinic, even in that fight, just the crescent guard to knockbacks at Yuki. It just was an absolutely wonderful thing to see. He's kind of still running and being a great position for plays for his team. We got to imagine with this dragon coming up here in about 2 minutes that, we should see another team fight break out. The gold leads slightly in favor, little under 2K towards OGF. But with these 2 objectives on the bot side, we've got to see this come to a pinnacle soon.
Yeah, I think that might be the case. We do see the Tilia and Orn top. Both of them do have teleports, so that could be the angle they want to go for. Just wait till the fight breaks out. And until then, you're just going to try and hit each other up towards top. Obviously, said have a little bit more promise there due to their range, but neither one of them really is going to have too much of a problem taking some damage. Obviously, no towers towards the top side, so that does make it a little bit more difficult to be able to secure that defensive position, because you'd have to march all the way back over towards your Nexus, but just have to wait and see. But the Dragon will be spawning in 1 minute and 3 seconds, so both teams looking to surround that. We do see that being the case with the Talia going towards bot side. We see a lot of players from the side of Omega Gaming Fever looking to try and contest there, so now it's going to break out.
Oh, a little bit of fight here. The root going to come through. Oh, absolutely. The Crescent Guard moving forward. Weaver's wall is coming in as Zed is coming to the rescue. The Unraveled Wall, the seismic shove, gonna go happen, moving Maddie forward. Although the Frozen Spud standing in the front line, taking it out. We Will Show Them All. Call the Forge God, knocking him up, and a shutdown by Maddie. Absolutely clutch play from the top laner.
Call the Forge God, able to secure 2 knockups, and Maddie is right there to collect, bringing a 4th kill into their lead. However, P-Dog is still up towards the top side, looking to take a tower, probably going to do it. So it's not the end of the world for either team, since there's going to be gold exchanged for this Otacon and maybe a Drake as well.
Yeah, you got to imagine with We Will Show Them All, I mean, they're in a position where they could immediately turn onto this Drake. However, Poom and Zed, as well as Frozen Spuds, all moving down, probably looking to deny that. Keep an eye. We have the teleport on P-Dog, so he can absolutely be here to help contest this Drake. As we do see that TP gonna come in. And you got to imagine if you're the side of OGF here, you're probably just going to give this. You're not in position. It is soul point, but unfortunately, just not a lot extra you can do here. As Set Yuki looking may just be fishing, but not going to be able to catch anything.
Honestly, I was kind of thinking they probably should contest it, even though it is only a 4v5 situation. I wouldn't be opposed to it, because now you're just backing, and obviously you get to utilize all your gold. You're going to force your opponents to back soon enough, but like,
Ooh.
I feel like they probably could have won on that Drake. But yeah, you don't want to 40-60 it or 30-70 it or whatever you would call the odds. So they're going to keep on just playing their own casual gaming self. However, now they cannot concede another Drake. That's just a fact. Matter, especially when it's an Infernal Soul that is one of, if not the strongest souls in the game, due to the fact that, well, it just does so much damage. Especially when you got players on this team like the Tristana. Maddie could really utilize that to its fullest.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, maybe something else they could have done is maybe immediately reset, get back out on the map, take over some vision and control that side of the map, and maybe open up another fight or both of those objectives. But you're right. MGC is going to have all the decision-making tools when it comes up for this soul, because they don't have to take it, but OGF has to respond.
The question now becomes, how will that response work? Because as we know, Zed is time and time again being able to isolate players using that Weaver's Wall. We've seen Palm as well being able to really just put in the work, and they are getting up there in terms of gold. They do have 3 kills, 1 death, so they're looking like a player to really put in the punch, and especially when they're up on CS against that Jin Zhao. Sailor not going to appreciate that. However, they definitely are up gold. They're overnight him up at this point. So, oh
Sailor
no,
wins
so
become
we're
lightning,
not.
flashing forward, is going to get rooted. Oh, the dredge line is going to connect, but he might get more than he bargained for, as it is going to be a 5v1. Call of the Forge God going to connect on We Will Show Them All as Frozen Spud flashes forward the Weaver's Wall, going to deter the side of OGF, as that route was absolutely clutch. We Will Show Them All. Whew, those corrupting chains could not have been better timed.
Yeah, Frozen Spuds, I'm not sure what the plan is. We saw them do that before, and I think they're just a little bit overconfident due to the fact that, like, yeah, you're not totally behind, but, like, have you seen the rest of your team? I mean, the gold lead's certainly not looking great for you, buddy, and, I mean, maybe they can get something later on with a good hook, but as of now, you really don't want to try and commit into these fights, because we've seen time and time again, Maddie just being able to pounce and pounce right on top of you. Same thing with Sailor. Same thing with Stubby. Everyone on this roster can make plays, and I think that's something that you really got to work around. Because as we know, MGC, they've been a cohesive unit. They look to work together, but I don't think their like real strats are as together and as planned as they'd like. And we kind of saw that in the last fight where we saw the Weaver's Wall come out, even though there wasn't really any necessities for it, because like I mean, you guys already got out. You use a flash to do it. Like there was no need.
Yeah, absolutely. And something I want to draw our attention to is start looking at the items coming through on the side of OGF as we see those ornaments start to look in. Maddie already has the upgraded Infinity Edge. Of course, Ornn on 2 full items, upgraded boots, as we do see the 2 supports here. Maybe in a little bit of trouble for Poom, but he's just going to go ahead and get on out as we do see that Wukong, the Warrior Trickster. He is going to flash, though, as he kind of walks back in. Not quite sure what his thought process there, but of course, OGF not going to let him get away with it.
Yeah, 3 souls are right. 1 remaining point until you get that soul, and 3 drakes have already been achieved. So now, if you're this blue side, we see them kind of a little bit conscious of that, with a lot of players aiming towards the mid side. However, they're going to back up, and despite this Drake only coming in a minute 15, they won't really have any issues with giving this and just allowing the side of MGC to take that over and kind of just bring it in their own right. So I'm looking forward to seeing whether or not they can do much about this, but as of now, I'm thinking like you can give them positional advantages and you'll still be able to make your way around.
Yeah, I would be a little nervous, of course, on the side of OGF. Very little vision control on this side, as we do see the wards placed for MGC, and of course them recalling and getting out onto the map now. My one concern is it's going to be tough to walk in. You know, some of the power that we get from this MGC comp is that dredge line and the unraveled earth, the seismic shove, those types of things. If you have to face check them, it's a heck of a lot harder. Those chains of corruptions, so we'll have to see how they decide to play this. Although it does look like OGF's going to get into this river first, and they are going to go ahead and take this vision down, as the seismic shove is going to be huge and collect. Of course, we are going to get this going in. Poom, the Cyclone. We do see P-Dog on the backside looking for Maddie, but Maddie's going to go ahead and dash out, as 1 taken down. Sailor is going to be knocked out, and that's probably going to be Dragon Soul going over to MGC. Like we said, face checking this Talia with Unraveled Earth. There's a huge seismic shove to start off that fight.
Honestly, yeah, I think that's kind of I don't even know. That was rough though. I don't know why they decided to contest in there. Now they
Dredge
won't
line's
have.
going to connect. Maddie in a lot of trouble here. P-Dog, the Buster Shot, going to knock him away, as Poom also in trouble. Call of the Forge God. We will show them all, seeing the power of that damage. Steering charge, knocking up 3. A huge double kill for the way, as P-Dog is now in trouble, and a triple kill. Subject Disaster is right, as we will show them all burning down in the quadra kill, and the dragon going over to OGF. And you gotta imagine that's also gonna be the Baron.
I said this at the start, and I'm just gonna reiterate it. It really is a situation where that Hue can get so powerful if given the right tools and teamwork to back up with. It's just a situation where you can't really contest, and it's not really a fault of MGC. They had a good game plan going into it, but unfortunately for them, they had to deal with a Hue in close quarters. When you have Blackfire Torch and you have Leandries, it is very difficult to get around that fight.
Yeah, I mean, I also think one of the cool things to point out is when that first fight started for MGC, as they, got the pick on a Sailor, they used a lot of tools versus OGF still had all those tools. Buster Shot still available, Spiraling Despair for Sayuki. They had a lot of options, and that triple knockup by Stubby was absolutely clutch. I mean, this guy
Yeah.
has been in the right place at the right time, making plays for his team.
I think Stubby certainly has been a player you got to watch out for if you are MGC, and they haven't really done a lot to kind of control him, which you can't really do. 9 assists already. They've been that playmaker, and it's really just been off the call of the Forge God, which really has been helping them out. Which I mean, every which way you look, it's all coming straight on through, and now the Baron effect has been applied, and kind of begs the question of how will you respond? Do you want to try and contest this? Probably not. If you're MGC, you're probably gonna want to let them kind of go up to this tower and you want to play around it, but who knows?
Yeah, of course. And if you're MGC here, you're in a little bit of trouble because you want to kind of bait people into these close quarters and try to lock up a single target. And it's tough to do that with this siege kind of going on. A little bit of ARAMing as the the extra damage from Signature of the Visionary going in. The siege on the side of OGF here with that poke from Sayuki is really tough to deal with. And if you're MGC, you're going to have to pick a fight as Scubby. Ooh, he is going to be stopped. The Spiraling Despair on P-Dog. Going to take him out by Maddie. The clone is going to get knocked up. Being stunned by the Unraveled Earth may have prevented them from moving forward, but doesn't prevent them from taking down Boom. As the flash forward, the audacious charge, taking down We Will Show Them All. As Cialer says, I will show you. As OGF looks to take down this game number 1 in our best of 5.
Certainly a good game at 1. You cannot give anybody a discredited position. Everyone on this Omega Gaming Fever roster played their hearts out, and each one of them at times or anything, they all looked good, and they all looked like a player who could potentially just 1v9. So I love this this cohesive energy they got going, and I think that's been created detriment after losing this map 1. So I don't know whether or not they'll be able to get more, but who better to say than than the players, because they certainly said some good statements in the game.
Yeah, I think something to point out that top jungle synergy and Sailor's extra attention towards making sure that Ornn stayed in a favorable position, was able to scale on time with his team, and then you got to give credit, Stubby transitioned his lead amazingly well. Multiple Call of the Forge Godges making absolutely great plays for his team. The triple knockup around the dragon fight, absolutely clutch, allowing that subject to disaster to connect and set Yuki to get up on that quadra kill was absolutely great. If I'm looking at this game, I mean, I think my player of the game's got to go between Sailor and Stubby. I mean, it's got to be one of those two.
I definitely put it at Sailor just because of I don't think Stubby could have gotten the value that they did end up getting without them constantly ganking the lane, and that's something you can't really forget about if you are the players, because you gotta rely on your jungler sometimes, and they certainly did it to an extent that looked amazing.
Absolutely no, and I think this is going to develop into a great series. Of course, if you're MGC, there is nothing to worry. This is a best of 5 fearless. We are going to see some different champs come out. Of course, we're not going to be able to see these same things, and MGC has plenty of time to bounce back. It's going to be a long night. We're going to take a short break. Welcome back, gamers. As we get back here into our grand finals between Mint Gaming Crashouts and Omega Goober Fever, or excuse me, Omega Gaming Fever. They have a Goobers team as well. I'm joined here by Cherry J, and we just finished game number 1, of course, being taken down by OGF. And wow, what a game it was.
That certainly was a big game for the side of OGF. They took it in a phenomenal fashion with a big lead coming out in the end. And I gotta say, I was satisfied for sure. I think the teams were satisfied. Both showed promise. Unfortunately, they let that Zhao get ahead, and that led to the downfall. Now, coming into game number 2, this would be match and series point for OGF if they do come out on top here. But it is up to MGC to equalize, to bring it to 1-1. And the question now becomes, will they be able to do it? Leslie, I'm not sure, but I know that this draft is going to determine a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, Fearless playing a big role here. I think as casters, as observers, as people just watching from home, Fearless has been a great opportunity to enjoy League, and I would say in a little bit more fun way. You don't see the same 12 champs played over and over and over again. And of course, team dynamics change a lot over the course of a series. In the beginning of series, you see some teams getting their picks, their high priority stuff, and kind of their comfort and performing very well. But as the game goes on, we could see that switch. And if you're Mint Gaming, you're feeling okay. Yes, you dropped the ball in that game. Yes, you didn't take it home and you're down 0-1, but nothing about that game tells me you got stomped or ran over or that you couldn't have found a win. I think they've got to do something about this jungle pressure that Sailor was able to provide, especially in the top side. Whether that's putting P-Dog on something that's more of a neutralizer, or if it's just being able to track and match him better. But if you're Mint Gaming, there's definitely hope. You can definitely bring this series home, and you've got time to do it.
Yeah, for sure. I think both these teams certainly going to have that chance, but I want to get your opinion. Who from the side of MGC do we really have to look out for here? Because we saw a lot of the players showing promise, but nobody really to carry the game.
So I will say, I think we'll show them all. I mean, yes, that kill on the bot side, of course, Maddie and Leventian just they made some mistakes, but he capitalized on them and he was able to get quite a lot of damage out. He showed some decent mechanical timing, with some of the engages from Sailor, avoiding that crescent guard, and I want to see what he can do on a champ with more agency. Of course, Varus, very neutral. I think he played it well. He did output some big damage. He made some plays for his team, but I would like to see him on something, a little more carry wise, as well as maybe we put Frozen Spuds on something that, peels for him a little more. The other way I could see this going is Frozen Spuds and Poom connecting, putting on, we will show them all something that he can just kind of neutralize lane on, and then having Frozen Spuds rotate around the map more with Poom to get things done. Of course, as we get into this game, we are going to see some of the same bans. The Lilia and Ari already knocked out. Zig's going to be a repeat ban as well from MGC, as Omega Gaming Fever does take the blue side again. MGC deciding that they need to give that counter pick to their top laner, and we'll see how it shakes out.
Vel'Koz to be locked in as a ban. I don't hate it, but that certainly is a ban.
I believe Sayuki has a ton of mastery on this champ. Maybe just one of those incredibly trigonomically savvy players, and they just don't want to deal with that. As we see Gwen, the one ban that was changed up from the side of OGF, not yet nerfed, so they've avoided that on this patch. So Gwen going to be locked in. Of course, traditionally a top lane pick could be flexed to the jungle, but you got to imagine after that performance, Stubby is looking to push forward. The Vi going to be locked in here for MGC.
Vi is a good one. Vi is pretty strong right now in the current meta. It is going to be not able to be paired with an Ahri, so you don't get that really volatile combo, but it will be paired with the Syndra. That's a good mid and jungle, both taking an AP and AD route, so you won't really have to worry about any mid laner being able to counter both of you. So I like it a lot. I want to see what will get exchanged for, and it is going to be a Xayah locked in. So going over from that Tristana over to the Xayah, kind of similar champions, kind of not. So I'm not totally sure how I like that, but it certainly isn't terrible.
Ooh, Xayah Rakani with the lock in. I mean, I like the answer. Of course, MGC picking good CC and damage in the mid lane, picking a go button, some great CC, some good engage with that Vi. Of course, I do love to see Maddie saying, you know what, you can come in on me all you want. I'm going to take the anti-dive AD carry of League of Legends. Of course, the extra power that we're going to get from that Rakan duo. And we are going to see Jinx locked in for Mint Gaming. We were talking about this. We'll show them all being put on this carry that can really take over a game. So you got to imagine with this, you may want to see them go a little more front to back. So this could lead me to believe that we may see a support counter pick here. But since the Rakan's already picked up, I don't know. We'll see what they decide to go for.
Honestly, I'm not sure if this is going to be a mainway front-to-back composition, just because of the fact that Vi with the cease and desist can be so strong. So we'll have to wait and see. But we will get the Malphite ban along with Renekton, looking to take out some of those tanky top laners. And now we get to see, was this Gwen in the jungle? Was this Gwen in the top side?
Poppy going to be a good pickup. Stop some of the dashes here on the Gwen, and is a big neutralizer to the Rakan. Of course, could be a top lane pick, but likely to go support here. I think, to show some real pressure on that bot lane. Sion, the lock-in going to be from OGF. Another wall to kind of absorb that engage, as we talked about the cease and desist coming out from the side of MGC. And saying, hey, Jinx, you'll chew through me, but you're going to have to do it late, as we are going to see the Galio locked in. That is going to push this Gwen into the jungle for Sailor. With his performance on the Xinjiao in this game before, that's not super surprising for me here. Gnar going to be the final lock-in here for the side of Mint Gaming.
So that is going to be the support Poppy, like you called, and pretty standard compositions from either side. Maddie on the side. Oh, that's not going to be Maddie on the side, but they're locking into Sion, making this likely to be a Gwen jungle, unless they do try and really go for something crazy here, like putting the Sion in jungle, which isn't the weirdest thing ever, but definitely not as conventional as Gwen in there.
Yeah, I think OGF's comp makes it really hard to play for Vi. Of course, we do have the Shroud coming from Gwen, so if Vi goes in, she doesn't get a lot of support from the outside. The Xayah able to absorb that engage. Sion and Galio also able to absorb the engage. The quickness from the side of that Rakan also going to stop some of the engage. So it's going to be very interesting to see how MGC navigates a team that's pretty impossible to engage on, right? I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see how they use those tools. Of course, the Gnar going to be a huge team fighting option, as well as that Jinx. But here we are getting into game number 2 of Omega Gaming Fever and Mint Gaming Crashouts.
We'll have to wait and see. Currently, both teams looking to secure this game number 2. For one of them, it means match point. For the other, it means being in that equalized position. But the question does have to become, who's the one to start this off? Now, Palm, in a pretty bad situation. Lots of players starting to engage on him, but they will concede and back out.
Yeah, this will be interesting. I'm really interested to see how MGC navigates these team fights. On the same side, though, I am a little nervous for the side of OGF. Of course, we assume this Galio is going to build some AP, some extra damage. As, Poom going to be a little bit invaded on by this Stubby. Going to get some damage out and just walk out. Going to make his clear just a little more dangerous, but nothing too else. Just going to get some vision on those Raptors. Jungle pathing here, I think. Frozen Spuds getting this late. Oh, he has got to go in and get it out. Frozen Spuds in a little bit of danger. Maddie just moving forward, and they are going to secure with the last second flash. Maddie looking to get it, and first blood going over to the side of OGF once more. 2 flashes to secure it, but you got to enjoy that if you're overall. Holy cow, the grand entrance by Rakan, just locking him up, and Frozen Spuds just, he took a very risky play, not seeing that, and got punished for it.
I know you were saying that the Jinx would be a carry potential in this game, but I'm starting to have second thoughts and doubts, because a already powered up Xayah can cause a lot of damage, and it's one of the more tanky AD carries due to the fact that you get a root and your ultimate does take you away from any real harm. So I'm certainly not I'm not expecting a whole ton from MGC right now. They don't look like a team that's ready to win, but I think it is nice having that Hex Flash being activated compared to the Xayah, who no longer has their flash for 300 seconds. So we'll see whether or not that really does find any value, or whether or not, OGF, they've already not bought an item, so it is kind of rough because they are in basically the same spot as the opposing Jinx. However, they're not really losing HP, so you can't be too upset about it.
Yeah, I think something to pay attention to is as this game develops, the range disadvantage that the Zai is going to be under. I think how these team fights play out is going to be very important. Of course, Jinx going to be able to outrange, the Syndra going to be able to outrange, the Gnar going to be able to outrange, and then the cease and desist. That is kind of a blow your ult button every time it happens. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But Maddie definitely in a great spot. They can get on this first recall, come out a little bit ahead. As we do see, we'll show them all already getting some damage in, but I think if you're, we're going to get knocked in. It's kind of the week, going to knock him back. But I think if you're MGC here, you really want to make this game go as long as possible. So they maybe be careful. Sailor's looking, as they did have him on a ward, so they are going to get to walk this right out. As we might see a little bit of a skirmish for this crab. We already see Sayuki kind of walking forward, securing it for Sailor. Poom understanding that, hey, I'm just going to go to this top side as our top laners taking some huge trades. Definitely going to favor Gnar as that Mega Gnar, giving him some opportunity to regen some health. As Maddie moving forward, not going to get locked up by those feathers, but going to take a very favorable trade on the Frozen Spuds.
Right now, both teams certainly in good spots, but this is a small gold lead. P-Dog looking to play aggressively. They have not hit their level 6 to turn into that monster, but oh, no. Okay, well, they are just going to be able to get away, and I'm not sure how I'm feeling about this from both sides, but that level 6 power spike could become really strong if you are P-Dog, compared to a Scion who's more in that utility ult situation where they don't really have a ton they can play for, so I'm looking like both teams certainly can make something happen, but as of now, OGF's certainly going to be on the lead.
Yeah, we didn't get a good look at it, but of course, Rakan doing a great job of making sure that wave doesn't get held, abusing the dual back ability that Xayah and Rakan does have. It's always something I thought was interesting about League of Legends. I thought Xayah and Rakan was very unique, of course, champion setup and how they did. And I think that's actually something that, the scat of the week got to knock him out just as punch, just for good measure. I'd love to see some more duo options in League of Legends. I think, P-Dog getting a little aggressive here, recognizing that Decimating Smash is out, and Stubby going to take another negative trade here, as P-Dog does have the wave pushing back for him and could look to take the CS lead, although he is just going to push it and try to get the TP out from Sion here.
Yeah, and without that level 6, they won't be able to get back in record time. They'll have to walk their way up, and never mind, they're going to drop the TP, as you said. Unfortunately, we are in an update where that minion can still be broken, and
the Gnar already broken out. Just taking the Decimated Smash, not going to be able to finish channeling. Is P-Dog getting a very favorable trade after taking Stubby's TP? This is going to be devastating for OGF. Stubby in a very poor position at the moment.
Another smash goes down without finding any real value. No connection will imply that it is a kill that you could.
He's going to get knocked into the wall. He's going to get the traps. The Hallowed Mist may be able to get him out. Rakan going to dash forward and disengage them, but it does look like MGC going to have full priority to take this dragon.
Yeah, we've seen MGC do this before where they take 3 Drakes in a row, but
the flex forward looking for Sailor. The exhaust going to come out. He is going to push him back as Poom is looking as well, but they are going to be good at body blocking. He is going to connect. But those traps not going to go. The Hallowed Mist, of course, giving that protection. See, and this is what I'm talking about. They're just so hard to engage on. The Hallowed Mist, not able to let those traps, since Jinx isn't in the circle. And that's, I think, a trend we're going to see as this game goes on. Of course, OGF peels them off the dragon, but they aren't going to be able to prevent them from doing that. As you talked about, you can hear the sound. Stubby using that ultimate to get back to lane since his TP was blown. Yeah, this is what I'm worried about, how the game's going to play out. That exact fight right there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This looks like a different team than what we saw game 1. Not going to lie to you. We haven't seen Sailor go for many ults or ganks, at all. And it's problems like that could potentially give MGC a win, because they're getting to be able to contest over towards the top lane, the bot lane, mid lane. Obviously, there's still 1 kill to 0, so that gold lead does exist, but it's even smaller than when it started.
Yeah, absolutely. I think part of that, too, is Gwen just historically not a great ganking jungler. That Decimating Smash getting something through. We do have the Rakan here maybe looking for something, but Stubby is in a lot of trouble as he is going to get in. The Grand Entrance got to knock him up. It's going to get the heal back for Stubby, able to help him push out this wave. And seeing the support topside, MGC pings towards and is going to likely take this dragon.
Yeah, there's the Void Grub stolen away. So Drake wouldn't be the end of the world to be converted. Seems like that will be the answer.
Yeah, I mean, MGC wants to scale, wants the team fight later, right? So I think getting these dragons and buying yourself ways to extend the game is great, right? You're not going to have to worry about Dragon Soul now for at least 20 minutes. And I think you give yourself some great options there. And guess what? You also kind of bail your top laner out. He's down 8 CS, but he's not in danger of just completely getting ran over anymore now that he has some items.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a little bit concerned because we do see the Galio here looking to buy out that magic resist, which in a normal situation wouldn't be the end of the world, but when you're going up against a team with one magic...
Ooh, Poom gonna get the season desist gonna go in. The Scout of the Week already used. The ultimate gonna come down as well. He might just be able to walk out. He's got to be careful. Flash going forward. They are gonna get that, but maybe a little bit of miscommunication on the CC there, as Scout of the Week not actually getting a stun, and then of course maybe just an early unleashed power, but not really getting a ton of damage out. And if you're set Yuki with your TP, you're not going to be too worried about it.
Up towards the top side. Stubby trying to find a little bit of an angle. But as of now, nothing to find. They're going to charge this up, go bang, but nothing to find.
Yeah, just seeing if maybe P-Dog steps up a little forward. Definitely understand that. The problem now is if you're P-Dog, you kind of have an opportunity. You know, he's got those completed Swifties, really giving him that extra move speed. And his goal now is just to freeze as much of this wave off and really try to keep Stubby off from getting any additional CS. As we see him doing this here, he's going to get a little bit from the Decimating Smash, but that Meganar coming through is going to help him regain some of that HP as we see the inevitable push and pull from this mid lane here. I'm a little worried about Zed. He's just kind of using Scatter the Week out of nowhere sometimes. I think if he's not careful, he's going to get caught on a timer where that may come back to punish him.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, OGF, they've still just been playing so organized, so ready for anything, but question now becomes, will they be able to find anything more? Drake has been converted, but 3 Void Grubs have been found. So when you're playing that Scion and you have 6 Void Grubs, that can be a real problem to deal with, since you get so much damage onto towers and you have such a good escape to win your ultimate. So I'm liking this a lot from the side of OGF.
The spot lane, they are going to get the quickness coming through, the Vi there to happen. We do have the ultimate coming in from Galio. The knockup going to be on Frozen Spud. Justice Punt's going to connect, and Set Yuki is going to take one down, but he is going to get taken down. Poom going to connect. Jinx is excited, moving forward, seeing what they can get done, but looks like they are just going to walk back. That was a great flank from the side of OGF. MGC able to get one back.
Unfortunately, it just was not enough to keep yourself alive, and at that point, Scud's going to have a little bit of a detriment. The TES should be going the way of Zed here, assuming they can really just clear out this entire wave, but, you know, it's not the end of the world. You lost a couple CS, but you were able to gain some advantages on that bot turret, so I think both teams certainly are going to be looking good, but it becomes a question of, is this Vi going to get ahead? Because if they don't, obviously they have the Thundered Sky, so that can get some good impactful damage, but I'm not sure how much I love that as your first item. We'll just have to wait and see, though.
Yeah, I think we do see, I want to keep an eye here on MGC sneaking into this jungle. Poom invading, maybe looking for something. The cease and desist is available, but they are just going to back out. So I think if you're Vi here, the Thunder Sky is okay, because your goal is you want to get in and you want to maintain, you know, your presence as long as possible. So that Thunder Sky giving you that extra, you know, that extra health, that extra staying power, as well as some damage as well. I think it's okay. I definitely am not unhappy with it, as we may see something happen around these grubs. Of course, seeing the Galio walk forward, understanding that's a lot of CC. As the Jinx, we see the Jinx moving forward here, so it's going to be a question of who gets here first. Stubby does have a TP, but you got to keep an eye on P-Dog here. This flank from Gnar could be huge.
Yeah, we're going to see the fight for the grubs in just a second here. So one
Poom
team will already find one.
Away. Let's see. Scout of the Week gonna connect. The cease and desist gonna move forward. They are gonna get stunned, but he's gonna miss the wall. Sailor still gonna be taken down by P-Dog, and that's one more over to MGC. I was worried about the engage, but they're still able to find it.
It's a good start. They're going to be able to clear up the Void Grubs, go 3-3 on that. See the Vi doing that right about now, but over towards the bot side of the map, we see the Drake starting to be flooded in. And I think that could cause a little bit of an engagement. Obviously, MGC, they've taken the gold lead
Oh
just by
no.
a small amount. But
Oh
that might
no, the smash! Gonna be absolutely taken out. Unfortunately, phase checking that brush was just not the way to go, and OGF gonna be able to secure that first feat of warfare.
strong start. They did it last game. They've done it again. The question now becomes, will they be able to utilize this to its fullest? And I think the answer is going to be yes. So we'll just have to wait and see what the plan does end up becoming. As of now, though, P-Dog playing really aggressively can take some hits in exchange. I think Heartsteel might be a play when you go.
Huge ultimate cancel, but the damage just, a couple of beefy boys yelling at each other, decimating smash, gonna get something back. It's gonna get him stunned down. Stubby may be in a little bit of trouble, but P-Dog still gonna trade back pretty evenly. Of course, P-Dog, gonna have the rage advantage here. Keep an eye on, though, Stubby doesn't have this ultimate, but if this extends too much longer, P-Dog could be in just a little bit of trouble. Although Zed getting this tower knocked on by Maddie, unable to deter him. And that bot tower is very close to being taken away. OGF can confirm. Oh, Justice Punch gonna not really achieve anything as Frozen Spuds just stands there and allows Jinx to get the wave shoved in. But keep an eye on this bot tower as we do see Sailor coming in. He is going to go ahead and get the needlework moving as they see Poom into cover. But this tower is so close. That feat of warfare is so close as, oh, he steps forward. He's going to blow the ultimate. The Blade Caller going to come back and get him rooted, but they are able to defend this tower. That's a pretty aggressive play from OGF here.
Right now, both teams trying to contest here. One for the top side of the map. We see two players up there. One for the Drake. Now, MGC, they've taken Drakes before. They've looked good when playing proactively for them. But now is the question, will they be able to make some magic? Will they be able to equalize this game? And I think, they're doing a good start here. Putting Stubby in some relatively bad situations. Tower will start to connect. Only one shot to hit. But with a tower right underneath you, you can't be too unhappy if you are Stubby.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's interesting. They're focused. They want this fight. Ooh, the Scout of the Week gonna connect. The Grand Entrance gonna get two as Maddie's in trouble trying to find it. We will show them all gonna be taken down by the snip by Sailor, and he's going for two as he finds it. Wow, we will show them all make it the shutdown, but it's a fight win for OGF and a double kill for Sailor.
That might have just been it. Sailor, they've been looking a little bit weaker in terms of their kills.
Justice Punch gonna find. He is in a little bit of trouble here, but can they get the damage down? It looks like the ultimate preparation from the side of Poppy. That Keeper's Verdict is gonna go ahead and deter Sayuki.
But the top side tower is about to be taken down. That's going to bring the gold a little bit further into an equalized position. And with that being the case, one item in hand, looking to make a second. Both sides of that top lane looking really, really tanky at this point.
Yeah, if you're MGC, you're not too upset here. You've got equalized dragons. You've got equalized grubs. You're a team that wants to scale. You want to get this Jinx up. You want to get this Syndra to a place where she's collected all her splinters and has that extra AP and those extra abilities. You're okay if this game goes on. Realistically, you want this game to hit 25 minutes, 28 minutes, 30 minutes. And they're in a pretty great position to do this. They've got an even gold, and they're winning some fights. So I think MGC, Poom going in a little aggressive here, maybe not realizing what he did. The cease and desist going to lock on. The Justice Punch going to lock on. Poom's in trouble. He's going to flash out, but that ultimate going to be in a shutdown for the side of somebody, a triple decimating smash, and that knockup from Sayuki flashing forward, getting on to showing them all. Holy cow, this Scion is on a rampage. P-Dog going to double dash over. Scout of the Week going to push him back. MGC looking to get something, but that is a huge win for OGF. Poom just kind of went in there and got caught, not really thinking or maybe realizing that everybody was there waiting.
Yeah, Poom just became a punching bag, and now that they are dead, along with their Jinx, we'll show them all. And at this point, it is going to be a Herald converted over towards OGF. And I know you were saying that this red side of MGC could scale a little bit stronger, but I kind of disagree just because those tanks can be so powerful towards that end game.
Yeah, no, I can see that for sure, and especially with this lead now. I mean, that was a huge misstep by Poom, and the tempo that you lose off of this, because you're going to have that Herald for OGF, and now they're going to get back out onto the map and have time to set up for this dragon as well. Ooh,
Going in.
P-Dog looking. The Justice Punch kind of knock him out, but Meganar is on. It looks like he's going to chase for it. Flash Nar forward. He is going to get the stun. P-Dog looking to take down Seyuki before this drag, and he is going to get the solo bolo. P-Dog not letting this game run away if he has anything to say about it.
Yeah, the only problem there is that you're going up against Sailor, who's on that Gwen. That's the definition of burn through tanks. So I know that kill is going to bring definitely a lot of promise. It's going to be that a little bit of a saving grace, but as of now, it certainly is not out of the woods just yet, even though you got the solo kill.
Yeah, the big help for OGF here is that P-Dog doesn't have TP, right? So if he wants to connect and help with this fight, he's got to walk all the way there to do it. And Seyuki does have TP. He is going to TP. They are going to look to take this mid lane, but the TP is going to deter them. Frozen Spud's in a little bit of a problem, but he is going to be able to block that as the Justice Spuds. Oh, he's going to dodge out. The Hallowed Mist going to protect him. And unfortunately, Frozen Spuds is just going to be taken out as Sailor just throws the needlework, trying to find it. Stubby in a little bit of trouble. Scout of the Week connecting a couple of tower shots. We will show them all looking for the reset. The Jinx Rocket's going to lock him down. Can they find it? The Stubby Zombie running forward. And we can see a contest still. Big thing to look out. Cease and desist is still up for Poom. You know, yeah, he's got the Gnar ultimate.
Oh,
there's some big things here. They're going to look. Poom's got some options. You know, keep an eye out. Maddie still going to have that Feather Storm available. Looking to see what here. Sailor pressuring the dragon. It looks like they may just look for a steal. Poom trying to find the angle for the engage. As we see Frozen Spuds coming around for a flank. This could be the moment. This could be the moment. Keeper's Verdict. Red Team's going to take it. Keeper's Verdict going wide. Sailor with the Unhallowed Mist is still going to be taken down by P-Dog. Featherstorm going up. We are going to see the Galio ultimate coming down at a double knockup. Maddie has taken down them all. Decimating Strash. Stubby taking a kill away. Seyuki flashing away. Frozen Spud still changing. That Stubby on the backside. Like you said, these tanks are going to be huge. Can P-Dog make a play? But it does look like he's just going to run away. It's going to be a 2-for-2, but MGC takes down the dragon.
The Hero's Entrance certainly going to be a playmaker there, taking this lead. However, it's going to be equalized 33-33 in terms of gold, and the Drake lead certainly in the favor of MGC. This is definitely looking like their game to win, especially with the Gnar, who is so pushed up in terms of their gold. It's going to be difficult to break them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think they did a great job kind of biding their time. You know, obviously Frozen Spuds spotted out by that vision, but it was a good look trying to get in behind there. And it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, we see how this Gnar is going to go with his build, having Trinity Force and Black Cleaver committed. Ooh, the Grand Entrance going to lock in. Frozen Spuds not able to stop that. A little bit of mistiming on that Steadfast Presence, but nothing too punishing going to come out from it.
Conceding this mid-aggression, we see the Feathers coming out, disabling any real aggression, but still seems like Will Show Them All wants to try and
contest. Zed's in trouble. The Needlework's coming out. He's not going to be able to get away here. The Needlework doing so much damage, and Sailor basically solo killing his P-Dog, getting a ton of damage on Seyuki. Holy cow, the double AD item's doing a ton of work into that Hollowed Radiance.
Certainly is an interesting idea to go for something like this. The Galio, definitely not my pick, just due to the fact that there's not a lot of AP you have to go against, especially when the other AP laner is 0-3, but that is kind of just a result of running that Galio. Herald comes down, looking to boom, and see how much they can find here.
Yeah, they are going to use that Herald to take down this mid lane, giving them some better opportunities to get vision across the map, but you've got to be careful. These lane assignments are going to be very important because if you keep matching P-Dog up with Seyuki, this could be awful. I mean, he's already solo killed him once, and you do see, of course, that he was able to push him out of lane again, as we do see Seyuki walking mid, so maybe looking to cover or potentially looking for a play from this Rakan, but ultimately it just looks like we're going to see MGC reset and get back out onto the map.
And we get to see the Syndra over towards the top side. Gnar going to be over on bot securing a tower, and they'll just back off of that. They got the gold back in Both teams, they're really just playing so secure. They don't want a team fight just yet. But I think after this drag comes in 2 minutes, that's certainly going to be where you want to fight for it. But there's going to be an Audicon before that, so maybe they'll go for it. And it seems like the answer to that's going to be yes. 4 players over towards the B side. They have the hero's entrance in case they
Ooh.
need a fifth, but we'll see whether or not that will be the case.
Yeah, you got to be careful because Scalar with the snip is going to take this down pretty fast, especially with Maddie. You know, the Blade Caller, another... Oh, wow, they're just uncontested. That Blade Caller, another way to securely, quickly these objectives, and MGC either no idea or just deciding that it's not worth it. All of the extra blood petals, that adaptive force, and extra experience going over to OGF, and then, of course, the 25% additional bonus on these neutral objectives. Gonna be huge.
All right, let's see, though. This gold lead certainly not the biggest thing to worry about, but that Gnar is 2 items, so we can make it a third, and we're going to be seeing Stubby contest for it, but we won't find much.
Yeah, so some things to think about here as we get towards this drag. Look at some summoner spells. So Zed, our Syndra, no flash, right? Sayuki, also no flash. You know, but the Rakan is another with no flash. You know, keeping these kind of summoner spells in mind, it's going to be very interesting to see how Maddie and We Will Show Them All are going to impact these fights. Ultimately, if you guys really want to take down these fights, you've got to get this reset on the Jinx, and you've got to be able to let Jinx auto without threat of being completely dove by this grand entrance, by the hero's entrance, or just by Sailor running through with the needlework, you know, and the hollowed mist protecting him and just kind of diving in on the Jinx as well. We do see a little bit of skirmishing coming out as OGF goes ahead and takes over this river. Sailor not feeling too in trouble here. The hallowed mist giving out some decent protection, although that is going to be on cooldown. Gonna have to prepare for that. Big thing to notice here, P-Dog does have TP, but it does look like he's going to move down here. Of course, OGF ready to and starting up this dragon as it spawns. Looks like they're just going to give it, though.
Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do see the Baron coming online relatively soon. 10 seconds remaining. It seems as if MGC wants to contest for it, but I'm not sure whether or not they win that 5-on-5 just due to the fact that they don't have that Syndra with them, and they do have teleport online, so I could find something, but right now...
Oh, the needlework coming through, as we said. Sailor just moving forwards. We Will Show Them All in trouble. Sayuki gonna see him. Frozen Spud's already take him down, and We Will Show Them All. Ooh, gonna be protected. The Scatter of the Weak. Stubby likely gonna look for an ultimate, but is gonna back away. The Scatter of the Weak able to deter them just enough, but Frozen Spud's being taken out. OGF is starting the Baron.
Riftmaker, Nasher's Tooth both picked up 4 sailors, so they're really going to be able to do some damage. Barely avoiding that meltdown that comes out after Stubby gets the hit, and Stubby going to have to be forced out flashing over the wall, which could potentially cause some damage. However, they're going to be conceding the streak.
Yeah, the Baron got to do the final takes of damage. Well, you know what? They achieved their objective. They took them off the Baron, allowed time for Frozen Spuds to get on, and now they're going to turn on the Baron themselves. That big tank, that big front line, that pressure is now gone, and they have full vision taken care of in here. Sayuki's going to have to face check. We do see Frozen Spuds. Going to see how they take into this. The Baron going down fairly slowly. Ooh, Frozen Spuds in trouble. The Justice Spud's going to connect. So we do see Gwen snipping. The Locket going to come out. Featherstorm, Maddie feeling in danger. Poom going to connect. The Blade Caller going to do Poom in trouble. Sayuki moving forward. The flash forward. The Justice Spuds is going to lock him down. We got to be careful. We Will Show Them All in trouble. He's trying to kite it out, but he is going to be taken down. P-Dog winning the fight, but he's going to move. Pooh taken down. Excuse me. Savior go. Sailor also taken down. The name's getting me a little tongue-tied as the fight goes on, but a huge pickup here for MGC as the only remaining player is this Rakan.
Oh, for sure. And they might not be able to stay alive for too long. We get to see the comeback come through. Stubby trying to get the kill. Knocked out, a good stun to commence, but
still, yeah, the flash away. The grand entrance still going to connect, though, and P-Dog in a lot of trouble. Zed, no mana to really help out. And now you got a question. Can Stubby get on? Zed, though, just enough for the Scatter of the Weak. Going to be able to stop that movement forward. They are able to get mid-tower, but that's another takedown. And P-Dog is a huge source of pressure for them, so it's going to be a good timer for OGF to continue to get out here and take control of the map.
All right, let's see whether or not they'll find out this Poppy once more. Now they have been on a little bit of a weaker game. 0-5, 5 assists. 1.0 KDA, but when you're a support, you really want to make that higher.
Yeah, absolutely. Just getting a little bit caught out at times. And I think that's something to keep an eye out here because if you're OGF, you want to keep finding that, right? These fights are so much easier to play when you don't have to deal with that steadfast presence. You don't have to deal with that keeper's verdict. And the Poppy, unfortunately, Frozen Spud's one of our first team all-pro supports, is just having a rough game.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to be seeing some contention towards the bot side. Drake to come online in a minute 45. Both teams equalize 2 Drakes to 2 Drakes, so this is a big one to get onto Soul Point. But we're going to see a potential for a split here with some contention over towards the Baron, disabling vision. Now that's going to throw up some question marks for the side of MGC, and they'll have to ask themselves, what will we do now? Do we want to try and force our way in? This information might actually give it away. We just have to wait and see.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to be careful as you see Saoler kind of moving back towards mid. Ooh, they may be looking at Zed. As Zed, oh, the unstoppable Scion moving forward. Got to get that down. Saoler, the needlework going to be flashed away. The decimating slash sidestepped, but not enough that they can do. As Stubby takes down another one. 6-2 and 2 on this Scion. 3 fully completed items. And they are going to continue pressuring this bot side.
Tower about to fall, and over towards mid, nothing to really find. It just shows that Maddie can really just clear any wave that's put their way. And Stubby, despite getting hit by the turret, they're going to want to secure it either way.
Ooh, P-Dog got to take this tower down. Seyuki, unfortunately, not able to do enough damage as P-Dog putting a ton of pressure on Seyuki here, taking that gold lead back down to only 1K with the towers traded in the bot and top side.
OGF, they've put themselves in a good spot, but the gold is starting to equalize, and once more, we've seen it time and time again, just flip-flop. Who's the one in the lead? Who's the one that needs to play catch-up? At this point, it seems as if this Drake could determine the rest of the game. Instantly, we don't see the lock get expended just yet, unlike the first fight that they had.
Ooh, this flank TP.
Immediately.
We've got to be careful. Galio's coming in. Frozen Spuds almost caught out again, and Poom able to peel him back. Ooh, Saoler getting a huge scat of the week. The heroic entrance coming in. Keeper's verdict got to be channeled, but not completed. Poom knocking on Stubby's door as we are going to see this fight. P-Dog looking for the angle. Meganar at the ready. The needlework already discharged, trying to pull them back. Poom in trouble. Can't take another full needlework as those needles are going to go through, getting some good damage on to show them all. We've got some huge cooldowns already taken out. If you're Poom here, this cease and desist is going to be a deciding factor.
I'm not sure if it will, though, just because of how close in contact they're playing, but they're not in a path where you can really find multiple knockups just yet.
Oh, Stubby's a huge ultimate flash away from We Will Show Them All. Poom and Zed not able to get anything done. The grand entrance going to get something done here too. Is P-Dog able to kite it back, and in the process, Sailor's just going to take down this dragon. OGF, objective complete.
That's a big one. Putting themselves on Soul Point. They want to make a rotation over towards the Baron. No kills to be found. And that's just going to be MGC conceding the fight, looking to take an engagement another day. So they do have a decent amount of gold, but over towards Stabby on the top side, he might cause a little bit of a ruckus, and that's exactly what you want if you're OGF. You want to steal this Baron and be able to close out this game early on, but they will be found. Rockets connect and engagement just on the other side.
Poom looking here. Maybe looking for a steal. May feel like it's his only option as he is going to come through. Oh, and he's not going to get it. Sailor securing the Baron here. Now Poom, could they be looking for it? He's going to dash forward. The cease and desist, you got to imagine, but he's not going to be in rage. And the blast gun going to take it away. Baron on the table for OGF. You got to imagine Stubby is very excited to start pushing down the lane with those minions.
Yeah, that certainly was a good attempt from Palm. They looked to be able to connect on that cease and desist, get the team up there, because the HP was not in a good spot if you are OGF. Unfortunately, they were in a little bit of a detriment. However, now that Baron minions are online, if you are MGC, you have to be extremely careful. Mid-gaming Crashouts, they have the gold to contest, they have the Drakes to contest, but at this point, they are certainly not in a great spot.
Yeah, like you said, these tanks starting to prove a problem as they're ahead just enough while we're still waiting. Jinx not quite finished with that third item. Oh, I spoke too soon as the Lord Dominic's Regard is going to be completed. Still not a third item completed here for Zed. Not able to chew through those tanks just yet. You know, we do have good wave clear on the side of MGC, but these tanks able to knock on the front door. We got to see what happened. Frozen Spud, the steadfast present, perfectly timed, preventing that grand entrance as OGF looks to take over the jungle and choke out that extra farm.
Immediately, congestion occurs, trying to get the demolition off, and they will be able to find it. Tower not to secure just yet. The amount of empowered minions could cause some decimation, but nothing just yet. Hiding in this bush, looking for some over-aggression to be called out, but this sweeper could just find them all.
Frozen Spuds thinking better of it. That's exactly what we wanted to see. We do have good vision all around. MGC realizing they didn't never see them leave. Ooh, P-Dog in a little bit of trouble, able to hop away as they don't have a wave there yet. The wave clear of MGC able to stabilize for the moment, but we still got a minute left on that Baron.
Yeah, right now, it's a little bit of pressure coming in from OGF, but Omega Gaming Fever, they need to be able to really just march down and use this Baron to its fullest, because currently they haven't been able to find a ton. That's going to do it, though, as soon as I say it. Maybe a caster curse, maybe just promise.
Or tier 2s, excuse me. Yeah, the caster curse always make it some extra pressure for these players. Does look like they're going to able to take him back. Only 36 seconds left on this Baron here. Able to get those waves cleared. It does look like OGF happy with the 2 tier 2s that they took, not looking to overcommit, and will be looking to take this reset. Drag up in a minute and 40.
And no outside turrets remaining for the side of MGC. This could become bad. You might want to just do a 1-3-1 split. Try and get all the towers, but that does leave P-Dog to be that kind of just cornerstone for this team to play behind, and that's the key that you really would have worked for.
Yeah, big thing to look. P-Dog, huge 270 CS here, 4 full items. We do see that we will show them all has gotten that other crit cloak. Should be sitting at 90% crit here. I mean, this is going to come down to it. This drag fight likely going to decide the game. As you know, if you're MGC, you can't really give over Ocean Soul. You do have some damage over time, but it's not really something you want to be able to fight through, especially with the Scion and with this Galio. Poom looking for the Justice Punch, going to get the taunt, but Sayuki realizing he's way outnumbered. He is going to get stopped. Poom going to lock him down. The Redemption coming down. Hallowed Mist. Frozen Spuds has slain him as they are in a favorable fight. The Featherstorm going to get down. Boom, flashing to the other side. Keeper's Verdict knocking them out. They are now in a 4v1 on Stubby. Stubby in trouble, flashing and knocking him out. Poom, the shield coming up. They are got to be careful. Sayoler's still back. Maddie's there. Frozen Spuds. He's going to get him in. They are going to take him down as Zed is... Oh, the charm is absolutely huge. That's the 5 and the quickness, but we will show them all as absolutely taking over the fight. The Decimating Smash is going to be stopped. Stubby in trouble here as we will show them all. Moves forward to take it out. The zombie not going to be able to finish him, and that's going to be a team fight win and a dragon for MGC. Just like we said, we will show them all taking over this team fight. Poom with an incredible flash. Frozen Spuds, who's had a rough game, absolutely incredible keeper's verdicts to keep them from being able to pressure that fight forward. And holy cow, this is what MGC needed, getting that gold closer to equalize.
And that's realistically going to result in a tower, maybe 2 converted as well. We will see the Galio come towards the mid lane, so that's going to give some kind of advantage. However, nobody to really contest towards the bot side, so that tower definitely could be taken down. The Rakan is alive, but that's probably the least likely player you want to really contest.
Yeah, the Gnar there. Oh, they're going to go for it. I think maybe realizing that tower doing a lot of damage. I like the look. I like the aggression, but I think they made the right call in backing this off. Baron going to be up in 1 minute as MGC secures the best update to Scuttle Crab that we've ever gotten in League of Legends with that extra vision.
I don't love the idea of MGC going for Baron, but I don't hate it either. I think right now you're in a good spot as you are, and you want to just kind of keep this game rolling. You want to get your Jinx ahead, and certainly they're doing that. They have a 200 gold bounty already. And I mean, I don't hate the idea of fighting, but I don't love it either, just because we saw that Rakan doing so much heavy lifting for the team, and if you let them pair up with the Xayah, it could cause a lot of detriment.
Yeah, that Rakan almost turned that fight. Of course, getting the charm on Zed, allowing Maddie to pick up that kill. I think if you're MGC, you've got to go through mid lane. You've got to get the push, trying to get in through this jungle that you don't have vision in through these tight corridors. Ooh, the needlework going out. Sayoler connecting, maybe thinking they can get more. We will show them all getting down, but Sayoler taking some huge damage. Stubby able to go ahead and block the Super Mega Death Rocket. Boom moving forward. Redemption coming down. Sayuki in trouble, taking some big damage. P-Dog, Meganar, he's looking, he's hopping forward, he gets two as they move forward. They're going to get down on him as we will show them all on a killing spree. The heroic entrance coming through, the Featherstorm connecting, but Stubby's in trouble. A double kill for We Will Show Them All, but he is going to get shut down as Zed flashes away. The Stubby Zombie doing so much work, but such a huge pickup as the only one alive is Sayuki. 4-4-1. MGC takes it down, and they could look to pressure the Nexus.
Kills have been received and kills have gotten value. 20-20 on that leaderboard. However, this Baron's certainly going to turn the tide of this match. I'm not looking forward for OGF's chances because they certainly aren't looking high. Now, over from the other side, MGC, they have everything they could possibly ask for. They've scaled, they look strong, and this Baron is certainly going to help them out. However, it's also giving your opponents time to respawn, and your two really big hitters, those were the players you kind of want to avoid, and now they will be back in deck.
Yeah, something I want to notice, though, as they go to look towards this push with Baron, We Will Show Them All has his flashback up. So as we get into these fights, depending on, Maddie's still going to have about a minute. The Rakan's still going to have about a minute. Scion not having their flash up and available. If they can put some early pressure on here, they can get a lot of this standing gold that's set out on the map.
Right now, 3-3 on the Drakes. Last one's going to be spawning in 2 minutes. That's what both teams want to fight for, and I think at this point, MGC, they've kind of redeemed themselves, and they look like a new team. So the question now becomes, will that be the fight you want to take? Will you want to try and go for something else? It seems as if the answer is going to be something else, with a lot of players hopping up towards that top side of the jungle, but now it does become a situation where, do you want to fight for this, or do you want to just leave this go? And I think MGC, they have the confidence, they've been able to roll through, and that steamroll might just allow them to burst even further.
Oh, season is just going to go in. Hallowed Miss. Got to protect Poom, having to flash out. The Scion got to connect. We will show them all flashing away. As we said, it's a huge TP in from P-Dog. Going to get the 3-man Gnar. The Redemption coming in. Super Mega Death Rock doing a ton of damage, but nobody going down yet, as Poom is going to get shut down. And OGF, in a miracle, find one against MGC and stop the push. Huge ultimate by Stubby. Getting the flash out of We Will Show Them All, backing them off that fight, preventing him from getting some damage down. That Redemption also coming in clutch, saving them from that Super Mega Death Rocket. Wow, P-Dog's trying, but OGF will not go quietly.
I've really liked these Redemptions that have been coming out time and time again. I think both teams have been looking really strong, but it's been just these small bits of utility that have been looking a little bit stronger for OGF, and I think those stuns, those are what have been really winning the games, because the side of MGC, they have a higher DPS, they have a higher really just composition in terms of how much you can output. But when it comes down to it, a good play from either your mid laner or your top laner can certainly change the tide of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we see, OGF a little bit behind here. Got to be careful, but MGC, look at P-Dog. P-Dog has been the guy. Oh, Meganar already going to be popped here. But keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that bar. If you're OGF, you got to wait this out. You got to do your best. And it looks like they're trying to. With P-Dog, he's going to look. He's looking for his angle. They are burning that dragon down. It is going to be down already. And they are going to take it down. Ocean Soul secured. But the fight is going. The Decimating Smash going to go wide. We will show them all in some trouble. Isn't going to get away as he is going to be taken down. Heroic Entrance going to miss. But MGC is on the run as Frozen Spud's going to get knocked down. Scout of the Week pushing them back. But OGF is pushing forward. As we see Sayuki looking for Zed. Zed not going to be able to get away as he's in trouble and taken down. OGF going to take down 3-1. And they are knocking on the base here. They took that dragon so fast and didn't even give them an opportunity. Hallowed missed. This Sailor taking him back here, and they're going to look to end. They're not going to give them a chance to give them another fight.
Yeah, that's definitely for certain, and as of now, there is no Baron buff applied, but that doesn't seem to matter. P-Dog, they do have that whole bar charge, so they might try and go for something. They will, but at this point, that might just be it. First tower down.
Oh, yeah, P-Dog getting deleted their Poom, also taking so much damage. And OGF does it again. P-Dog not able to carry his team. Such a great performance, but OGF wants to take it down. And Stubby doing some amazing things on this Scion. Another absolutely great performance by him. Sailor doing very, very well. Maddie playing his role perfectly. Some great Featherstorm, still applying as much damage as possible. And, Seyuki has some questionable solo lane plays, but great job in those fights. You know what? Not much else to say. Another great performance from OGF.
Yeah, that is certainly the truth right there. And honestly, I remember we discussed this. We said if this game goes 30 minutes or so, it will be the side of Mint Gaming Crashouts to win it out. But unfortunately, those tanks were just a little bit too strong. And we get to see it here with a insane amount of towers taken for OGF. Meanwhile, MGC, the last 10 to 15 minutes, they didn't take a single one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the decision making from OGF was just so much better. I mean, they pulled the trigger on things better. They did a great job by using their 2 tanks to kind of, create a wall and deter pressure. And you know what? As well as I think some of those fights went for the side of Mint Gaming, they weren't able to pull the trigger at the correct times. And Stubby, I gotta give credit. Some of those Scion ultimates were absolutely clutch. Stubby, for me, kind of being a standout player so far.
Honestly, I know it can sound bad, but I still have my MVP of that game as Sailor. I think if it wasn't for without them, that would have been a completely different story. But if you exclude them, I think I'd go with the Zaya. I think that they certainly put a decent performance out. Maddie looked amazing in that game. And I'm not going to discredit either of the tanks. I just think that there were a couple plays, and I'm not going to say they were bad because it was situations where there wasn't really a better option. But I think the heroic entrance was a little bit scuffed at times, and there was just so many better options. The Scion, though, you're totally right. They put in a lot of heavy lifting. The only reason I'm not having them as my MVP was just and they looked a little bit weird in lane against P-Dog. However, that is to be expected because P-Dog is kind of an impressive champ on that Gnar. So I mean, I definitely think you're not wrong choosing Stubby as the MVP. However, I might just have to go with Maddie as my MVP for game 2.
All right. Well, we'd love to hear from you guys. Go ahead and put it in chat who you think your MVP for that game is. And we're going to take a quick break, before game number 3.
do 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 like do crazy oh 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 crazy oh 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 crazy crazy oh oh crazy oh 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 crazy do crazy do crazy do crazy do crazy crazy do like do like do crazy oh do like do crazy oh
Welcome back, everybody, as we get ready for game number 3 of our Eternal League Grand Finals. Omega Gaming Fever already up over Mint Gaming Crashouts 2-0. This could be the last game we see. I'm here with Cherry J, and what do we think of the series so far?
Yeah, it's me once more. This time, different body, different face. We got a still camera to look at because, I am currently ridiculously sick and I cannot feel anything. So we're kind of in a bad spot in terms of literally everything ever. So we're going to hope this game goes well. We're going to hope that we see each and every team pull through and really pull out all the stops because this is where you got to do it. We've seen time and time again, both teams able to kind of pull out some good in tricks, but it has always been OGF, the team to finish. So I'm looking forward to game number 3. I want to see whether or not they will find that 3-0 in the grand finals, but it's a little bit to hope for because let's be honest, both these teams, they are that number 4 seed. They made those upsets, so there's certainly chances that they will falter.
Yeah, and I think something to point out too is these games have been very back and forth, right? It's not like OGF just came through and stomped either of these games. I mean, it was very, very back and forth. MGC having some great team fight wins in the end. I think it's going to be interesting as, ahead of draft, MGC has selected Red Side again, which that tells me is that P-Dog is an integral player for them. They want P-Dog to be ahead. They didn't get that to happen in game 1. They pushed it to happen in game 2. He had an incredible performance on the NAR, definitely being a difference maker and somebody who allowed that game to go on as long as it could. But Stubby on the side of OGF has done a great job neutralizing those lanes and making an incredible impact with the tanks that he's played. Obviously, some incredible Call of the Forge Gods from the Ornn. He did incredible at drawing pressure. Incredible is the word I'm going to use. It's nice to see tank players, really, really do their job at such a high level. And I think that's been a really big focal point for OGF. And then we've got to move on to the jungles. Sailor, very dominant performance in game 1. Game 2, not quite as dominant, but still very effective. Some great shot calling coming out. Taking down that Ocean Dragon Soul at the end was an absolutely wonderful call. He's doing a great job of kind of reading the map and being involved where he can. I definitely want to see him on something that's a little more impactful early. I think OGF did a great job of using him to help generate a lead in that first game, and didn't see that in game number 2. But of course, we are going to get into draft. And of course, reminder for those of you watching at home, this is Fearless. Fearless, meaning we cannot play those champions again. You're still going to get a full 5 bans here for game number 3. You should see at the bottom of the screen. We'll see those champs that are already taken out. It's going to be crazy. The bans so far staying the same. Lilia going to be locked in. Assume we're going to see the Ziggs, Vel'Koz, and Volibear once more. OGF adjusting their bans last game. Maybe we'll see something different. What do you think?
Well, I mean, you kind of have to see something different just because the game from map 1, one of the bans actually got played. So that Gwen no longer needed to ban out. The Ahri will be banned out nonetheless, though. So a lot of AP, a lot of similar bans to last game. There's the Vel'Koz as well, not wanting to concede any good picks, and that just shows the level of respect that MGC has for their opponents. So that's the final ban of the map. We will see the Nocturne getting taken out. Well, sorry, not the map, but that's the final ban for the first phase for the side of OGF. And now MGC. What will they take away? And it's just that standard Volibear. They don't want to play for early game. They want to kind of limit the choices that you have in that regard.
I wonder if this Darius is going to get picked up. It's been open this whole series, not seem to be prio for anybody, but the Zyra going to be locked in. Of course, this has been a huge jungle pick. Seoler really kind of showcasing the different styles of jungler that he can play. So you got to imagine that's going to be for him. But let's see where MGC decides they want to go. We do see the Orianna locked in. Of course, the Nocturne already taken away. Not going to have that Nocturne Orianna combo, but what do they want to pair it with?
Obviously want to go for something AD, and they will go for something AD, looking to really lock down that mid side with Poom looking for the Viego. Strong pick, very high carry potential, which is kind of different from what we've seen so far with that Vi being taken last game, one of the more supportive junglers, but a Sailor, well, not Sailor, sorry, but that is coming to Caitlyn locked in. That's the bot lane completed potentially, but that, as you said, Zyra most likely going to be up towards jungle, and even more likely now.
Caitlyn Morgana, not something you see very often, especially at the comp level, but you know what? OGF very confident, gonna do that. You gotta imagine Stubby Sailor is gonna look to, path towards the spot side, or even try to split the map and try to isolate this 2v2. as we do see the Aurora already locked in for the side of MGC. Gonna leave their bot lane to get full counter pick here. You gotta imagine, I mean, we will show them all has showed some great promise in these games. So they may be deciding that they really want to play through him this game with, you know, some of these top fans coming out, protecting this Aurora. Gonna be that Tom Kench, as well as the Dr. Mundo. OGF still banning top laners, maybe not 100% convinced on where this Aurora is going to go, but the Twitch, we are going to see that taken away. What AD carry do you want to see here? What's your favorite thing to play into Caitlyn?
Well, I think you need to go for something that either limits the range completely, like the Tristana. However, that's already taken away, and I'm not going to be able to finish that sentence because a Jhin to lock in to counter out that Caitlyn, which I don't know how much I love, because that Caitlyn with Morgana can be so volatile.
Oh, we're seeing this could be different. I think this changes the game a lot. Morgana could be a potential mid lane pick here. As we see this Braum locked in for OGF, they're definitely cooking something up. Urgot gonna be that final lock in for Stubby on the top side, a more bruiser heavy pick for him to play. Let's see what MGC decides they want to end their draft with. You gotta assume it's gonna be a support here, and I think they need a go button. Fiddlesticks gonna be that lock-in. Fiddlesticks support seeing a huge uptick in play as in the Emerald Diamond solo queue ladder right now. 54% win rate. It's actually really, really huge. And this is Fearless, everybody. We get some crazy picks to come out as we see where OGF decides to put this Syra and Morgana.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure about the Jhin with the Fiddlesticks, just because you'd expect something a little bit more tanky to be paired with the Jhin. However, I don't hate it, just because, as you said, they need something to really engage upon, and obviously something like the Aurora with the Between Worlds can do it, but it's more so going to be that Fiddlesticks. The ultimate can get a ton of value, that being the Crow Storm, so I'm liking it. They can TP in, get a disengage off, and I don't know, I'm looking forward to seeing how that will play out. Obviously, MGC, them playing this confidently with this a little bit of off standard picks. It's interesting because they are currently down 2-0, but it seems as if they realized if we want to win, we got to play something unconventional.
Well, and as we get here into game number 3 of our grand finals, rewarded for saving your support for counterpick, right? Because this Jhin Fiddlesticks, excuse me, going to have a lot better time into Caitlyn Braum than they would have into Caitlyn Morgana. So that extra time really paying off as we see this Morgana mid. Not a play you see too often. Did see a little bit of an uptick about 2 years ago in the mid lane, but really kind of non-existent since then. So we'll see what Yuki decides to pull out. But this Fiddlesticks, I think, definitely going to be the support to watch. It has picked up a lot here in NA solo queue. P-Dog also on one of those carry champions. I mean, Between Worlds, Crowstorm, definitely a little bit of a wombo combo that they could have. That Shockwave also being thrown in there. You know, you got to imagine they're looking for these resets with Viego trying to take advantage of that passive, but the zone control that they're going to have and the ability to absorb those engages, you know, with the wild growth, the Braum. I mean, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how these fights play out. And I say this a lot, but Vision wins games, and Vision is going to be key here to spot out this Fiddlesticks.
P-Dog making the play on Aurora. We saw them on a bit of a range champ earlier. This could be considered range versus range, and over here we get to see a split screen. Now that certainly is cool. We get to note a little bit of damage already coming to the Fiddlesticks' hands, and that just shows why you were totally right there. This character being really strong right now, because of that like AoE damage they can get, and the silence as well is just so impactful.
I agree, and just Caitlyn unable to have as much pushing power without that Morgana. Of course, the double ranged, taking full advantage, getting the push here early on. Little bit of trading top here. P-Dog hitting that level 2, but nothing too crazy going to happen. Ooh, able to save the level 2 both sides. Zed getting a little bit of damage on here. Let's talk about this bot lane. I mean, for the most part, they've played out their lanes pretty evenly. We saw a little bit of skirmishing kind of in that game 1, but almost all of it had jungle attention. You know, we haven't really seen a 2v2 team fight win or a, 1v1 fight win here in this bot side. Ooh, the Deadly Flourish gonna just be sidestepped by Maddie, but still a really big health lead here for the side of We Will Show Them All and Frozen Spuds. That silence doing so much pressure. The concussive blow is going to back them off, but nothing crazy. Looking at this mid lane, Zed, I'll be honest, I don't know how you feel, but I feel like Zed has kind of been underperforming this series so far. And I really want to see them kind of get Zed unlocked and see if he's able to, have more of an impact this game.
Yeah, we saw Zed on the Toya in game number 1 where they were doing a little bit of a lackluster performance. Game number 2, they kept on that AP mid laner. They're going to continue with AP.
Ooh, look at this bot side. The Zyra's looking. Looks like we're not going to be able to check it out. There's a skirmish going on bot side as we do see the flash and cleanse taken away from We Will Show Them All, but Boone hidden in here. They are going to get backed off. That concussive blow slow being so effective, but We Will Show Them All, and this Jhin has no summoners up, and that's something to watch. Ooh, boom. Stunning forward. The Deadly First gonna connect, but Unbreakable Will keeping that Zyra clean as we, again, the jungles get involved and fighting occurs here in the bot lane.
Yeah, this is not going to result in any kills, however. Both sides looking to take this final win. Potential if you're MGC, you want to be able to snowball this lead into multiple. But as of now, Scuttle Crab to be taken, and OGF, they've taken a little bit of a loss in that regard. They don't have nearly as much jungle presence, but that is kind of to be expected when you're playing against a Fiddlesticks who has that a little bit of a crazy ward they can drop. So, I mean, we'll have to wait and see what they can make happen, because both of these teams, they certainly are good. They certainly have shown time and time again that they are capable of winning the grand finals. However, if you want to do that, you got to start now.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to point out this huge tempo difference from Sailor and Poom. Poom going through and kind of working on his second clear without getting an item, recognizing that he's kind of down on tempo, as we do see Sailor already getting onto that third camp and hasn't even recalled yet. Definitely something to keep your eyes on. The concussive blows, man, ever since those summoners have been down, the OGF bot lane, Maddie, has been running it down here. CS lead starting to build here for the Caitlyn as Frozen Spuds in a little bit of trouble with this health disparity.
Look at that Fiddlestick. Such a low HP line. One good shot from the Caitlyn, dropping in the ace in the hole, could potentially secure a kill, but they are only at that level 4 still. Nothing like that will be activatable, and at this point, they're just going to act on this dragon. They want to secure it. Yeah,
huge priority to take over this dragon, and we talked about this tempo, right? They're going to take this dragon, and, Poom's not even in a position where they could attempt to trade objectives, right? He's already just recalled. He's now taking his blue side camps, and Sailor's going to be able to recall and head out towards these grubs, without any worry of them being taken. Oh, the Between Worlds going in as P-Dog trying to make something happen in the top side. Whoo, Stubby able to just sidestep. Huge look for P-Dog and great escape. If you're P-Dog, you're still happy with this. Stubby not having his TP, trying to get this wave push so he can lose as much CS as possible.
Up towards the top side, we see a lot of players gathering around, looking to control the extremities, but at this point, this is 3 people just looking to control this ward, and oh no, they're going to be the punish
Frozen Spuds. The shockwave is huge! Poom looking for that reset as they get on Cielers. He's going to get it. The reset going to come forward for the Viego. He's going to get stunned up, though, and be immediately taken back. Holy cow, 2 kills for OGF as they do secure Frozen Spuds as well. Wow, Frozen Spuds getting locked down by that Dark Binding, followed out by the Grasping Roots. So much CC on that Fiddlesticks as he really wasn't able to impact that fight at all.
I gotta tell you, I liked this Morgana pick, even though it's not nearly as prevalent in the mid lane as most people would expect if you're playing it in this grand final. If you're a mid laner and you're not having the best series, locking in something like a Morgana that just finds value from existing, being able to connect every type of stun, and just forcing your opponents to be wary of that the entire time. This is a very strong character for people that aren't having the best of days, and they're playing it perfectly. Lost Chapter to be built, along with an amplifying tone in hand. They will also have the boot, Thorns of Ring, and that's exactly the type of weaponry you want to go into this with. You have the AP damage. If you can secure some kills, you'll be very happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely something to keep your eye on, like you said. Ooh, Taylor able to secure that at the last second. Something to keep our eyes on, of course, is P-Dog. You know, they wanted this matchup. They wanted something that he could have comfort on, this Aurora being picked for him, as we do see our laners return to their normal lane assignments, with Zed recalling and heading back to mid.
I gotta tell you, I don't know if it's just like this game or what, but it seems like MGC finally started really like caring about their composition and making sure everything's good.
Stubby in trouble. Sorry to cut you off there. The Urgot, fear beyond death, putting some pressure on him. Continue. Sorry, they were just trying to start something on the top side.
It's just a fact of like every other game before this. We saw 4 AD champs, 1 AP. This game, however, it seems as if this side of MGC, they finally really started getting like an equal amount of everything. So if you don't include the support, they got that Orianna and that Aurora to be that AP mages and find those early blows to secure kills. But then they also have that Viego and Jhin. The only thing I don't love about this is the lack of real engage, but the curtain calls can be really massive.
Oh, the trap! We see that trap? Holy cow, unable to let Boom get that ultimate off. The ultimate being taken down, and he's caught on another trap. Great placement by Maddie. Sorry, they don't want to let you talk. They just want to fight so much.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at this point, I think either teams can win it. I don't think that curtain call, though, it's going to find as much value. At first, I was thinking it's going to be good. It burns down the shield. But when you really consider it, burning down a shield that a Braum has, like, that's regenerable, and it comes back pretty fast. Your ultimate as a Jhin, though, it's not the same case. Instead, you're already only at a quarter of the way to regaining it. So I'm liking this Braum pick a lot into the Jhin, and I think that the Fiddlesticks really has to work their way around and being able to counter that. So we'll have to wait and see. At this point, though, we might see some pressure towards this bot lane because of the Zyra coming right on back.
Yeah, something to keep an eye on. Of course, we said, ooh, the concussive blows going through, but the fear and the deadly first gonna lock him down. We see Poom in this harrowed path, but not going to be able to get in here. We see some pings coming in. Doesn't look like they want to give up this dragon for nothing. To flash forward, gonna miss as the Stranglethorn's gonna knock up the Jhin, but not going to be able to do it. The Spectral Maw connecting, Deadly Flourish as well. Boom in trouble, and he is not going to get that off as Maddie takes it down. Oh, the cleanse immediately and the flash forward. Ace in the hole, gonna be blocked at the last second. Huge pickup by OGF. Absolutely great, and that's got to be a dragon.
Frozen Spuds able to keep the will show them all alive just by the hair of their chin. And honestly, I think that OGF, they've already looked ridiculously good. Feats of Warfare, I believe that's being collected for them already, so that's massive. And now with the Drake going under their control as well, that's going to put them halfway to a soul. And realistically, this composition should play a little bit stronger when it comes to that late game, just because they have that tankiness as that Urgot. Meanwhile, their opponents doesn't really have anything for that frontline situation that you will have to eventually come.
Yeah, I definitely tend to agree, and I think what we're seeing here is OGF's confidence. They have no issues. They're ready to go. The curtain call coming down as they're trying to just put some pressure on this Morgana. The Spectral Maw trying to wait out the Black Shield, but unable to do so. And they may push her out of lane, but that's all they're going to be able to do.
Yeah, forcing the Morgana to back. It's not the end of the world for them, but it certainly isn't the best situation. A couple ults were expended, such as the curtain call once more, but let's be honest, I said it before, I'll say it again, I don't know how much value that ultimate is going to get in this game. Now, Grubs will be taken. We have a little bit of contention potentially from the Zyra who is coming up, and they do have that Urgot as well towards the top side, but neither of them really want to fight this, and I don't even know if they know what's happening. But yeah, there is going to be 3 Void Grubs converted, but it's just going to be equalized for Void Grubs, both teams taking 3, and this really goes to show why Zyra is such a strong pick for the jungler of OGF. Now, right now, Omega Gaming Fever, they equalized the Grubs, and they have the Drake lead. They can just play for time, they can play for these Drakes, and potentially get a soul for a Baron or something crazy like that. The question becomes, will they even need to go that far? Because at the rate they're going, they seem like they could take this game out pretty quickly.
Absolutely. I mean, something to think is MGC committed their entire team to make sure they got those grubs. Oh, the Grassy Root's going to get the Stranglethorn's also going. We will show them all. Trying to be taken down. The Concussive Blow's going to hit. And the stun's going to come through the plants. Oh, they are going to finish him as it is going to go ahead and burn with that Leandries. Holy cow, Spectrum Ball being charged. The flash forward on Stubby is going to happen. P-Dog Between Worlds going to land it. They are going to get some damage down. The ultimate going to come through, and Stubby is going to go down for a cross map. That Caitlyn taking down those towers, taking down those plates. Whew, still a great play from OGF, even with the answer back.
Yeah, I mean, you expended your jungler to kill the top laner, and it's not the end of the world, but it becomes a situation where how are you going to really feel about this? Black Hammer getting activated, and I don't know how I love this, just because there's not a lot of armor for anyone on the opposing side. I think building maybe a little bit of anti-AP, getting that magic resistance could be a little bit more strong in the overall game state, because laning stage is almost over. It's about to become team fight territory, and I think that as of now, MGC, they're not looking horrible. They're obviously down in gold, but realistically, this team, if they're playing 4v4s and not 5v5s, I think they can win it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if we get a chance from the observers to see the gold differential I want to point out between Maddie and We Will Show Them All. I think we need to recognize here, yeah, look at that 1,500 gold difference. Absolutely crazy. That's that turret gold. That's all 5 plates. As we do see, Frozen Spud says, nope, you got me, expending his flash to get out of a sticky situation. You know, that bot tower already being taken down. Like you said, the feats of warfare already claimed for OGF. They're in a pretty vulnerable position right now, and you've got to imagine, you know, this Fiddlesticks especially, think about it, going for the tank build, as we do see the Winged Plate already bought for him. You know, if they do want to find a fight win, they've got to be able to get this Crow Storm off and have it be effective.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like Dead Man's Plate or something like that for the movement speed, but I don't know how much it's really going to get. Obviously, Stubby, they are that armor killer right now, so maybe you can find something, but as of now, I'm not so confident in MGC just because of how these gold leads have presented themselves. Obviously, I was not totally aware of the fact that there was a 1,500 gap between this bot lane, but it makes sense. And oh no, BF Sword bot as well. This is certainly going to be difficult to take a Drake here.
Yeah, I want to keep an eye on P-Dog here. Of course, has the TP already kind of existing. That Between Worlds flank definitely has some power, and I think that's kind of what we need to keep our eyes on. But yeah, how these fights play out is definitely going to be interesting. You know, MGC doing a decent job of controlling vision here and really kind of setting themselves up, but there's just so much time on the Dragon right now that can't really commit to anything yet. As Ergon gets the push in the top wave, P-Dog moving to do it, the Harrowed Path coming out, but that control ward just doing too much work. You know, the towers being gone is just putting so much pressure on MGC. I'm not even sure you can contest this Dragon.
It's going to be difficult, but...
Ooh, we see the TP coming in from P-Dog. Let's look for the Between Worlds. It does look like OGF just maybe looking to force this tower. But Braum doing so much work. Caitlyn just deleting that tower if they're not careful as they get pushed completely out. This is what I'm saying. I'm not sure if you're MGC. Ooh, the binding is going to connect. Concussive blows. Huge. So much CC as Maddie's going to take one down. You cannot contest this anymore as MGC.
It's not Stubby, though. They're playing a little bit aggressive, which could potentially lead to a little bit of a detriment. However, there's not a lot of stuns for the side of MGC in general. Obviously, they do have a little bit with the Fear and that root from their bot lane, but besides that, not a lot of real enabling to catch somebody out, especially somebody like an Urgot who is so tanky. There's the Drake putting themselves on soul point, and Hextech Soul, one of the best souls, if not the best souls in the game overall. So I'm thinking this game might just be done, and a little bit of it has to do with luck getting that Hextech Soul, but it's just generally like this team is looking so freaking powerful.
Well, yeah, Caitlyn takes another turret, and honestly, if you're OGF, you want to fight. You say, let's go to objectives, let's bring them in. We're so strong like now, we just don't want to let them get to an opportunity where they can find a fight on us. We can find a lucky Crow Storm. You know, they can find this Wombo that they're trying to set up, and that's another objective secured for OGF, you know, taking everything in this game except for 3 grubs, and now they have the opportunity to have priority in all 3 lanes. This is looking very, very bleak. for mid-game.
Well, the top lane, maybe not so much with the Aurora up there, but will they drop Herald here?
Oh,
Stun
the
comes
Jinx
through.
will show me all in trouble. Flashing away, the Crow Storm going, but not getting any fears off. Poom is going to flash away and get saved. That is going to be 2 kills down. Ooh, the Shockwave going to be flashed as Poom goes forward. The Stranglethorns, ooh, he is going to be able to get that Heartbreaker out. But oh, Between Worlds coming in, and the shutdown looking to get on Maddie, and that is a huge pickup for P-Dog as he chases down Chandler. Ooh, huge Grasping Roots as the God comes in. Fear Beyond Death taking down the Zed. P-Dog in trouble here. The flash forward, flashing away as well. The Weirdy gonna get him out. The Harrowed Path gonna put him on, but we will show them all gonna get taken down by Sailor. And P-Dog in trouble just trying to survive. MGC strikes back, but OGF makes sure that it's even at a 3-4-3. Whoo, MGC pulling the trigger, making something happen this game.
The execute range on that Urgot ult is absurd. That was not even funny.
We get a replay here. We will show them all just kind of caught out, you know. He's going to get a flash. The Crowstorm coming through, giving us good damage, but no CC. The Heartbreaker was huge there, able to get him out. And Yuki just walking too far forward. That tower already charged up, taking so much damage. Maddie, huge flasher, getting stopped by the Shockwave. This flank from P-Dog, absolutely huge. Huge shutdown on Aurora. The Weirding moving him forward. Between Worlds, locking him down. Ooh, the ace in the hole not going to pick it up, but watch this. Watch Zed here. He's going to take some damage, and the ultimate here from Urgot, picking him off perfectly. Oh my gosh. We will show them all just stepping too far forward, trying to help his team out, but in the process, getting himself killed. Great fight overall. This is the stuff you want to see in a grand final.
Yeah, unfortunately, that execute only able to find one. If they had that back up and running, there was easily 2 more kills that could have been accepted, but OGF, their goal
we missed
lead
it,
is
but it looks
starting
like, yeah, it looks like MGC got a pick on this Morgana. Of course, in the replay while that happened, we may get another look at that, but another pickup for MGC as OGF looks to pressure this top side.
Yet the gold lead hasn't diminished. It's still OGF with a massive lead, and it really is all on Maddie, who has been time and time again that playmaker. Unfortunately, the Aurora flank, playing like an assassin, building like an assassin, they are the player to watch out for, so I think if anything, Maddie's got to be scared of him, but that's about it.
Yeah, here's this pick. Oh, the silence into the fear. Great job chaining that CC. He's going to get it forward, even with the flash Heartbreaker over the wall. Great job. We are going to get a TP here. Zed in trouble. Going to get stunned. Fear Beyond Death connecting. And the Shockwave going to do some damage, but not going to get anything done. Although the Spectrum Ball going forward. Curtain Call coming through. They are getting a reset here. Can he get into it? Dodging the Stranglethorns. Perfect way to dash out with that shield if they get one. Ooh, the Root going to be here. Between Worlds trying to get some damage done, but Sayuki going to get Frozen Spuds down. And the Braum going to disable here. Poom, can he get the reset? He can, but he's going to get shut down. And Maddie has so much gold. We will show them all with no luck here. And the Morgana. Woo! Tormented Shadow picking up those kills and securing a quadra kill here for Sayuki. You want to talk about having a game-changing series? Here it is.
Sayuki already having Blackfire Torch, the universal mage first item, so you gotta love that for him. It seems like Otacon might be the next objective. Maybe you want to just focus on the Drake to secure Soul Point, not allow MGC to even come close to contesting for it, but as I'm now saying, a baton of traps limiting the access, and one in the bush could potentially cause some damage.
I mean, Maddie the most gold in the game, 8,700, 2,300 gold against their counterpart, 800 gold, 800 gold now above the most fed member on the side of MGC, recognizing they just have so much pressure here. And, you know, no summoners except for Frozen Spuds. We've got to see if we can find a Crow Storm here. It's going to be something that's huge. Ooh, the Deadly First, going to miss. Nothing really to look for. It looks like MGC is not willing to let this dragon go quietly. But if you're OGF, you see them here. They're just going to get that midway push as MGC decides to start this dragon.
Yeah, it's going to start being burnt down, which allows the engage to come through. Looking to potentially do a flank, though. Dragon starting to get back. Resets. Now the poke comes through.
Binding missing, but they are going to take control of who's getting the Strangler. Is going to come out. That is an ultimate use. That's going to be some huge thing, but you've got to make your thing soon. Ooh, the Binding's going to hit. The Weirding going through Between the Worlds is going to land, but P-Dog in trouble, not able to get too much done. And unfortunately, whoo, the Fiddlesticks is going to be locked down. Not too much. They are trying to find the reset. Heartbreaker going to go down. The reset on Poom going to be found, but the Hextech Soul going to be secured. Poom looking to see if he can make something happen, but Maddie and the Hextech Soul just too big as P-Dog weirds away, and Poom on the Herald Path is going to get locked down by the Stranglethorns and is going to get stopped. The ace in the hole not going to take down P-Dog, but Poom is going to go down, and OGF secures the soul and still takes down the fight.
This is really absurd. I mean, this is 14 kills found, and the fact they have Hextech Soul with a poke comp, like what they're running, is just insane. Like, now they go for Otacon. After Otacon, they can go Baron. Like, this seems like this game is just won.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, MGC's trying to find these angles, trying to find ways to be impactful, but they're just so far behind. Maddie able to do so much damage here and apply so much pressure just on their own. This Otacon, just something they can't contest.
For sure. I mean, it really is a situation where you don't want to contest, and even if you do, it's not going to work out for you because there's already Soul Point. The gold weight is just so ahead, and if you get hit once by a Morgana route, it's going to be followed up on by the Braum and then the Zyra coming in for an ultimate. Like, that first fight we saw by Dragon's Pit, the Zyra ult went insanely wide and didn't find any real value, and it didn't matter. They still found value. They still found kills, and it just goes to show that this team, at this point in the game, maybe it'll change later on, but they don't seem to really care about playing as a team that wants to be perfect. They just want to win, and they're doing a great job at making.
Yeah, and I want to pick out here just Zed, unfortunately not able to find ways to be effective. I mean, they've struggled throughout this series so far, and they're continuing to struggle here. Keeping up in CS fairly well, but haven't found many impactful shockwaves yet. And I think Frozen Spud's trying to find some good engages, but OGF doing a great job of waiting them out, playing it slow. Like you said, let's find these Morgana bindings, let's find these Stranglethorns, let's do these things that buy us time. And if we don't hit it, cool, we'll wait. And then we'll hit it again, and we'll try again, and we'll try again. And they're doing a great job of it. We do see this Baron spawning as OGF kind of getting in there. MGC aware that this is something they could easily take. And they're in trouble. This Baron could be started on here now that mid wave is pushed in. Ooh, Poom in a little bit of trouble. Or excuse me, Poom going to be locked down. Stubby. Ace in the hole going to move forward. He is going to get suppressed and taken down by the Fear Beyond Death. The Curtain Call not really going to do anything. Between Worlds, P-Dog trying to find something for his team, but the Braum able to take them back. And that should be a Baron with their jungler down. MGC, all they can do is stare at it and watch.
Yeah, the Guardian effect as well. The Guardian Angel is so strong.
They're going to look. Shockwave. Oh, not going to make it too impactful. P-Dog trying to find something. They are going to do it, but it's only a withdraw because of that Otacon. We see him flashing, and a flash again from We Will Show Them All. Flash from both bot laners. That withdrawal so effective. And OGF just looking to make this one a quick win.
Yeah, backing, which is a little bit surprising. You'd think they'd want to just try and pressure that top tower or mid tower, sorry. But instead, they're going to just want to reaggress and kind of regroup as a team, make sure that they have all of their thoughts in order to secure this game. We see Strabby Strabby up on the top side. They will also back. They showed presence, which kind of forces P-Dog to be wary about that. At this point, though, they will realize that's probably nobody up there. They don't have teleport online for Strubby, so it's going to be a little bit difficult to find value, but Elder is up in 2 minutes. That's exactly where MGC can make the comeback, but it has to be now, and it has to be here.
Yeah, they've got to be careful because, of course, not having any real control over this dragon, it's going to be tough to find that angle. That Hextech Soul doing so much work here, the extra slows. If you're MGC, you've got to be able to push out mid. You've got to be able to find an angle that way, but you have to be so wary of your jungle lane.
Immediately. Going up mid lane, potentially the target, but it seems as if they want to stick in the jungle. Look for some people a little bit out of position, but nobody to find. MGC playing as a unit. They have one player up towards top, one player up towards bot, and last three will be over towards the mid lane. Now, question becomes, how does OGF want to play this? Do they want to play aggressively now? Do they want to wait? Seems like the answer is going to be they want to really be the first team to the punch, but an objective bounty will be taken. That's going to be the start up towards the top side, down and out, giving a little bit of extra gold over to the Aurora. That's a carry you can really rely on. We've seen in last game they had a phenomenal performance. This time, not able to put up the same level of dominance, but it is still good. Over towards the bot side, these cannon minions are demolishing turrets left and right. And at this point, it's going to be rough, but OGF, it seems as if they've almost taken the win. They're just knocking on that door, ready for it to unlock.
Yeah, absolutely. P-Dog, not quite to that death cap, does have the double rod, but still a little bit away. Oh, and Frozen Spud's going to be locked down. They're in trouble. The concussive blows. The Stranglethorn's going to be, or excuse me, the Nature's Grasp going to connect, and Frozen Spuds is going to be caught out once again. Kind of the story of this series. Ooh, Sailor flashing forward, not going to connect, but like you said, they're knocking on the door, and they may not even let this go to Elder. They may look to take the game down right now.
And it does seem possible if you use that Urgot as that main focus, but they will be burned down. That's 2 towers alive, and that's 2 towers ready to fight.
Another one connects.
Through.
Oh, the Soul Shackle's flashing forward. Beyond Worlds trying to make something happen, but P-Dog just doesn't have enough damage. Poom in trouble. Oh, it's an absolutely wonderful Zonians by Sayuki. Curtain Call gonna come out as P-Dog trying to get something to happen. It is gonna connect, and the Curtain Call gonna get one. Stubby in a little bit of problem, but there are no towers as Ciorla takes one down. Maddie still huge. The Deadly Flare is not gonna connect. Ooh, no damage coming out from Frozen Spuds. The Fear gonna land, but he has no damage. He went take, and that's gonna be the game. That's gonna be the series. Your eternal grand final winners is going to be Omega Gaming Fever. Woo, what a series.
That was absurd. Their unwavering loyalty to the cause to win it out, despite the Fiddlesticks being nearby, they completely dominated out, and it has become a situation where they have really proven themselves and have brought it back to a instant win. So now after that, how much more do they have to go? Nothing at all. That's a grand finals victory, and that's going to be them being the champions. So certainly a great 3-0 to finish it out.
Yeah, absolutely great performance. Huge shout out to OGF. You guys went in as a 4th seed. You upset. You made it here to the finals. Both teams essentially underdogs coming into this playoffs. Incredible performance. You guys came out, such confidence. Huge shout out. I agree, Sailor, probably our MVP for this series, doing a great job on all 3 games. Absolutely breakout performance game 1, super solid performance game 2, and another breakout performance here in game 3. Just absolutely solid fundamentals. As for MGC, you guys fought those first 2 games absolutely back and forth. Could have gone either way. Great performance from everybody here. Holy cow, has this been a great way to end off the Eternal League this split. And I'm sure MGC will be back the next split here in summer and not looking to get a different result coming out.
Oh, for sure. Unfortunately, though, that is going to do it for our night here. But, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to tune in for other channels because I believe there is still games going on. Yes, there is. So make sure to go check that out because that is going to be a big one. But OGF, Omega Gaming Fever, taking the 3-0 victory, bringing themselves as the champions. Leslie, thank you so much for carrying me here tonight because this certainly was rough. Thank you so much to those behind the scenes, Chris, Sunga, along with Nightclaw, because that was phenomenal production from them. And that's going to do it for tonight. Make sure to stay tuned. See ya.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?